This episode is brought to you by alcohol. Alcohol, a liquid substance used to get inebriated, sometimes for feeling euphoric.
I clean me bruises.
Not to be confused with rubbing alcohol, by the way. Alcohol. Use it responsibly.
Rusty ass German things, giving the thorough as I motherfucking claim the fame. Throwing your wetsuit when it rains, it pours and all. Hit 'em with the fall, don't even know him from a hole in the wall. Get at me, you wanna clap me, snitches wanna rap me, put it right where they got me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Everyman Show. Woo, yay. I'm your host, John Everyman. And this is episode 89. Ocho nueve. You know what that means, Quintero? We're one away from the big countdown.
I think, doesn't that mean instead of being a wide receiver, you gotta play D-line?
Yeah, we're going defensive now. We're heading into our 90s. You remember when we were in our 20s? In our 20s, man, we were different. Now we're in our 90s. We're much more older. We let you go to sleep early. That's why these shows end faster. Guys, sitting with me today, it's another light one. It's another light one in here. But it's still okay. We got the right elements needed for this episode. Sitting with me is still yet another dedicated co-host that I'm sure when everyone else shows up, he'll disappear eventually. Mateo, what's going on, man? He's getting himself ready. He's getting his sports drink. Sitting over there, bro. I can't see your hands, and you're looking down. I don't know what you're doing. But, Walter, go fuck yourself. It's probably what you're doing right now. You're probably fucking yourself. Sitting with us, the reason of the season for today's episode. This man is no stranger to the comedy world. He has been fearlessly hitting these stages, man. You since I've come on to the comedy world, anywhere I've been that's like a loaded event, man, you're either there hanging out in the background, or you're performing, or you're opening, or you're headlining, but you're there. You know what I mean? Like, you are there. Guys sitting with us, man. It's Hennessy Williams.
Yeah, how we doing, everybody?
Yeah, man.
Doing good. But
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for those words. I appreciate it.
But it's true, right on that line. You are.
Here's a what?
Oh, no, I was saying, not just being there, though, because that said nothing of your skill level of a comedian. You're just there.
Oh no, I'm just hanging out, hoping to get in like Rudy.
Right.
Added to that intro, man. It's one of the comedians that, like, I don't really watch people's sets. I watch them sometimes, but I don't try to catch them regularly. But I do watch your stuff, so I think it's real funny. So for the listeners of the show, fucking FDA approved it. You know?
Nice.
Well, let me be clear right now. Right. Yeah, you're USD certified in here. But listen, man, this show doesn't bring just like people of no talent, man. We always bring the finest talent in this room.
Yeah, but we had some weirdos in here, man. So
yes, but the finest of talented weirdos. We find the best weirdos out there for the listener.
Yeah.
And not for the viewer. Hey guys, we see. We started getting to the YouTube side of things. We forgot that YouTube exists for some reason, but we realized that it does, so we're using it.
Isn't that always great when you realize like a little late, but you're still in the game?
Yeah.
It's not like you guys stopped podcasting. You said, shit, we should have put it online. Fuck.
Yeah, man, forget this, man. So no, we realized that we should have been using that tool more often, and we never did, but we got to it. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming, Hennessy, man.
I appreciate you guys.
I know you came a long way. You said 2 hours?
2-hour drive when it's all said and done, because I'm coming from West Palm Beach, Florida, so we're talking almost 90 miles of driving.
God damn, that's like from here to Cuba. No, well, wait, is that here to Cuba at this point? Is that
Yeah,
Cuba?
that is.
But yes.
Yeah, from Florida to Cuba is 90 miles.
Damn, man. Shit, you drove to Cuba, bro. You kind of did. Like, technically, you made it to Miami. This is kind of like Cuba. This is more like North Cuba. Or would it be like, what, East Cuba?
Oh, we're in West Kendall, which is North Cuba.
Well,
right.
I know I'm in the real Cuba part of Miami if I go to like a Publix and there's a cafeteria.
Yeah.
Like in there, I'm like, all right, here we go. It's legit now.
It's like, because like in other Publixes, like in West Palm or
Yeah.
they get like the bakery.
Yeah,
it's cafeteria.
Right, but
there.
in regular Miami, they sell the Cuban shit, but it's like a stand. It's not a full on like
Yeah,
a
full like El Presidente style, where it's just the entire wall is just fucking buffet style food.
You ever seen that now? Like Publix now, they're even dropping Publix now. They're calling it Publix Sabor. Like they're adding like a sabor.
Yeah.
You didn't know
Vicious
that?
by
Have you seen that?
I didn't see that. I didn't know that was a
yeah.
thing.
CBS y más.
Yes, CBS y Mas. Like,
I did a commercial for Fresco y Mas.
no way.
Yeah, dude. I remember they had us out in front of their new store that was opening, and we were just out there for hours, just dancing to a band playing some that one song that Mark Anthony made real famous. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But we were out there like in the sun, just dancing all day, and these people will get on you about smiling because the camera is just going from your face to face, and it's Miami, it's the summer, it's 10:45 in the morning, and you've been there since like 8 a.m. when the sun was down.
Christ. You were already like with sweaty ass.
Oh yeah, like you sweating, and then the makeup girl come by, she fucking dabs your face up, and then they fucking put the camera back, and they're like, "Smile, black man, smile."
Hey, wait a minute. So
Well, shout out to Fresco y más. All right, that's Hispanic people winning. That used to be Win Dixie.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like Public Sabor. They're buying. See, these
Right,
national
right.
companies are going away. They're converting into Spanish now.
Well, that's the emerging market.
Yeah, and Win Dixie's like some legit Confederate shit.
When
Probably.
they
Like at this point, you tell me anybody has a history of something in the Confederacy or some weird shit like that, I'll
Nazi shit,
believe it.
right?
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, that makes sense. That's how they got their
Adidas,
money.
yeah.
Okay.
let me ask you, man. Are you Hispanic or anything? You don't have
No,
any
Haitian
Hispanic
as fuck. I mean, they try to categorize us as like from a Latin island, but we're a part of the African Union. But they don't want us in there. But we're there, so I consider myself coming from an African nation at this point.
But isn't that weird? Like, you know,
Well,
you're-
it's both. Why,
Yeah.
why can't it be both? You know,
Well,
people.
well, and
people
that-
in
it's a
general
very
are a
complicated
lot of
history,
things.
so it's fair to call it both for a lot of reasons.
I never understood that whole island dynamic over there. How's there two countries on one little friggin' island?
Well, 'cause
Two countries literally
Politics.
tried to control it,
Yeah,
and they used the people for fighting.
and that's why like they're both still Hispaniola. You know, but no one's gonna rep that unless you're both. Because there are a couple people that are both. Like that.
it's fascinating to me. Again, it's just I'm like, how
But
could that not be?
it's like
one
if
nation?
you're from the New World, you know, if you're from the Americas in some sense, you're probably a lot of shit unless fucking some weird shit happens.
Right. But let me ask you, man. Being that you're Haitian and
Mhm.
doing a Fresco y Mas commercial, how did that feel?
It felt pretty cool to do the commercial only because it was money.
Well,
and
yeah,
it wasn't in an office, but like nothing about it really spoke to me necessarily on my nation side, except for somebody really going ham on some like the drums and the music and all, because it was a live band. So they was really going ham, and I was like, I recognize that sort of beat. That's a Haitian ass beat right there. I get that. But everything else was pretty much.
But you know
just
what I
commercial
mean?
work.
It's like you know, just watching it, you're like, wait, that's out of place. It's like watching like maybe like a PF Chang commercial per se. You know, not to say that we have to, but just as a casual goer, sometimes if you're seeing a PF Chang commercial, for some reason you feel like maybe an Asian should like do something there in the commercial to make you feel like, okay, PF Chang, there's Asian, you know,
But
culture.
it's not Asian.
It should remind you of it, though. I'm not saying that we have to categorize it and make it an Asian person, but you know, if you're looking at it, you know, like right now, not for nothing, but if I watch a Popeyes commercial and I don't see that lady come out from Popeyes right now, they
Okay.
put like,
But
they
that's
put
just-
Georgia
I mean,
Lopez there.
that's
I'm gonna
brand
feel weird.
recognition.
Yeah.
Well, KFC's playing around. They just making everybody the Colonel, right? So it's not really. It don't really matter who's. Shaq, you said?
He's the new Papa John.
Well, you couldn't drag that white man out there no more after what he
Yeah,
did.
of course. So who do you replace him with?
You replace him with the
biggest black guy
blackest,
possible.
Yeah,
The black
you
famous
can't
guy.
use whites no more.
the
Papa
biggest
John's
black
doing
guy
that.
you could find. That's what they said in the executive's office. Find me the biggest black man we can get a hold of.
Hey, can you imagine instead of Papa John's they put like Peyton Manning instead of Shaq as the face? Like, yo.
Better ingredients, better pizza.
Oh my god, that is fucking hilarious. But But yeah, I was just, I'm wondering that shit. I'm like, damn, you're Haitian, you're doing a Spanish commercial. But yeah, I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah, I didn't have to
TV
speak
shows.
Spanish at all. It's just basically like smile and dance. Like,
I'm Cuban.
I'm fucked if they ask me.
I'm Cuban, but I was born here.
Okay.
I got more American roots, or it turns in culture. But like, I did Univision commercial novelas one time, and I even had one of those little Univision Telemundo dramatic moments. When you pause, like if there was a murder in the scene. I forgot what happened. I think the doctor came in with a gun, laser gun or something.
The doctor?
It was something crazy, man. I don't know what the hell I was in. Like,
doctor with a gun, doctor with a knife. It makes sense.
Yeah, it was something nuts like that. And I had one of those Telemundo moments where I looked dramatic because they bust in through the door out there like this.
Was there a fine ass nurse?
Yeah, man. Let me tell
That's
you.
like what's always amazing to me? I've talked to my friends about like Spanish language channels is like not very progressive in the sense of the weather women must be dimes. Like as if no one's gonna even give a fuck if it rains tomorrow or not. If this chick isn't a dime, telling me. Like if it's not a dime, they not gonna listen.
Listen, man.
It's fucking crazy.
I've been to the Telemundo studios.
Yeah.
And first off, not Telemundo, but the agents pay like shit. Like they pay you peanuts to be there for a whole day. Side note there, but when you're there though, all the women are sexy. When I say all the women, not just the women that are gonna be on camera, my man. I'm talking about the makeup artist is high, the grip is high, like the freaking janitor going to the bathroom is fine. You're like, oh my god, like everything's fine in here. Like they really commit to that hotness. Like
that's rude by those dudes. you know them chicks didn't want to wear them tight ass dresses in interviews and
It's
shit.
a kind of sexism though.
That is sexism at its highest degree.
If you're working for a Hispanic company, it should have an appropriate Hispanic level of sexism. If not, it's not Hispanic. You can't.
But it's like this in
Way to
third
keep
world
it
countries.
authentic.
Yeah.
But isn't it like this in third world countries? Like it's like sex sells, right?
It's sex sells and they're terrible patriarchies for the most part. But
Right. But I'm assuming that for like the Spanish world, like you bring in like Telemundo and shit.
well, it's also
it's hot women.
it's generational. But yeah. Like there's nothing funnier that you could do for a Hispanic audience than like be like a husband that beats his wife.
What?
Or just like a tragedy.
But that's like
That's the funniest thing going on.
Like
I don't feel comfortable you saying that into a microphone.
don't worry about it, man. A lot of these episodes, I'm sure, over the years will just be disintegrated. We can say whatever we like.
Oh my gosh! All right, so I get what
I don't
you're
agree
saying.
with it, but it's like I'd say probably till 4 or 5 years ago. That was the kind. It was just big titty bitches running into a room,
Screaming, ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
And then they run out.
a midget comes in.
Joe, you are you describing Benny Hill?
You know what? There was a lot of that humor for a while. Like,
You don't remember Benny Hill?
yeah. Yeah, I
But
remember.
listen, I was a kid watching that shit, and no matter what, I was like, why is this so funny?
It was nonsense.
Oh, I mean, that's actually why Ugly Betty was so popular. That was the first like non-hot Hispanic chick on
Isn't
TV
that
ever.
amazing?
Yeah.
Like, yo, this chick looks normal.
Yeah.
She's ugly as shit.
Let me ask you, man. I know we're diving here into Hispanic culture, but you said you're Haitian, man. What do you feel? There's any similarities with Hispanics and Haitians?
It's more of it's a Caribbean thing. We're kind of united in that Caribbean stuff. So the things that we may have in common is the religious people are pretty much the same. Anyone who's like kind of my parents, I know they weren't partiers. They were super religious people that didn't party. But I knew Haitians that partied, and then I knew Spanish people that partied. And I was like, all right, y'all partying the same. Like it's the same.
It's the same shit, right?
Yeah, it's fucking people getting real tore up at 4 a.m. Shit just popping off, and everybody's late to everything. That's the thing both Haitians and Spanish people have in common, just late as fuck.
Eating the same shit but calling it different names.
Oh my god, when I tasted mofongo and I was like, nigga, I know this. I know what the fuck this is.
What's the Haitian term, the name for that one?
It's like, it's almost like mine. Like, it's because the one I had, it's like a Cornish meal sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
mofongo.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We have
it's
shit like that, but we do it with
plantain
like
cornmeal.
we do that shit with like we'll do it with like black beans on top of it.
You
Or
bullshit.
something. Oh yeah.
Oh, first time I had bongu, I was like, oh, I've had this shit a million times.
Ain't it though?
Just
Just all the
black
same shit.
beans on it.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, I think I gotta fuck with this. Listen, I've been to Chef Creole, in part to Walter over here because he loves to take. You know, he's Haitian.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
he's
Is that why you took off?
He might be.
Yeah, he's
you know,
fucking
got some shit to do.
He got a new car twice this week on some real Asian shit.
Oh, that is definitely some Asian shit. You must be doing taxes.
You know what's funny?
That's exactly what he does.
But you know what's funny now we're talking about it? I was talking to him earlier when we were coming over here, and he was with his son, and I'm hearing him talk to his son, pump the gas, like teaching him instructions. I'm like, man, that's some Haitian ass father right there.
Wait, you told him to stop at 15?
Yeah, he said, fucking put it at 30, and then he said he was done. You're like, that shit stopped at 25. Go inside and get a receipt. I'm like, damn, man, you give that kid instructions like that.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all,
But it's good though.
yeah, you gotta teach the kid to just not let the money fly into space. Go get your money back.
Yeah, but you know what? I know that with Haitian fathers, like they're very like they teaching their kid the boys to be men.
Oh, I have a joke I'm working on in this whole thing, but it's a survival thing because with Haitians, we aren't afraid to talk about death to our kids way too early. So everything is in the framework of one day I will die. So here's what you need to know.
And if you mix death and religion, it's like, oh, die and hell.
Yeah, die and hell. So
Yeah.
get ready. If you don't, and we love to tell you, you're going to hell if you don't listen to me. Like that's a favorite of Haitian parents too. Listen to me or you going to hell.
Hey man, like but I know that with Haitian. But we were talking about the food. I love Haitian food, man. I love Creole. Griot, is it griot?
Yeah, griot. That's the fried pork. You got the Cubans got the same. It's literally it looked the same. It may not taste the same.
Like yeah, but it's seasoned different.
Well,
It's seasoned
in
different.
Ecuador, they have the same thing. It's probably like it's like maybe a bigger cut, but it tastes exactly the same.
Yeah, the pork shoulder that's like chunked up and fried.
Yeah,
but it's fantastic. It's what got a lot of people in South Florida on board with letting Haitians stay for a little bit longer. It's always food, yeah, because you don't, when the new immigrants in, you're like, who the fuck is this? I don't know what you about.
Oh, I mean, that's the
You
only
offer them
reason
some food.
Miami has let Cuban people have it, just because they're good at like breakfast snacks.
Oh my god!
So when you're doing business, they pull up a croqueta.
A
It's like,
croqueta,
I'm
oh my
forgetting
god!
that you're a terrible racist.
I tried it. My first croqueta was like 4 years ago.
You're lying. 5 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, my parents didn't know nothing about that, so I didn't grow up in my head like I need to go get some. But I saw them.
Who put you onto it?
Oh my god! I heard it talked about on the Dan Levitard show. I think of all things.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he mentioned it, and I was just like, I'm gonna go try that somewhere. And then it was just in my head that if I ever see it, I'll get it. And then, of all places, they sell them at Publix.
Yeah.
They sell them at Publix. So then I got it at Publix, and then I was like, oh shit, this tastes like it's like a hammy mashed potatoes. Like I bit into it, it just slid in my mouth like mashed potatoes, but it tasted like ham. And I was like, oh, this is very good. I ate like 3.
Now let me ask you: have you had them with hot sauce?
No dressing on mine.
They're the only thing that Tabasco actually makes better.
Yeah.
Really? You're not a Tabasco person?
I like other hot sauce.
Really? Which is your hot sauce?
Man, I like mango habanero. I like motherfucking
You have a
cayenne
brand
pepper.
loyalty.
Which one?
Oh, I'm so into this shit that I bring this shit called Pica Rico. Every time I go to Ecuador, I bring back like 3 bags of my favorite cookie from there and like 4 packs of that hot sauce. And I go every year, so it lasts me all year because that shit hot.
Okay.
Damn, bro. Like, listen, man, because I love Tabasco. Like, I'm going to go with the Tabasco brand. Yeah, I mean, because I guess it's just what's there.
It's so vinegary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's good for like Mexican stuff to me. If you don't have Cholula, if you don't have
Cholula's great, but it's just it's not enough. Oh, the green Yucateco.
Yucateco, that's the one.
I have that at my house.
That is amazing hot sauce.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I put that on like my brokest of meals because then it could just taste like that. When I have
Yucateco.
Yeah, like just ramen noodles and a can of tuna, but with Yucateco.
Yucateco is really good. It's hot.
Because I got Tabasco in the house.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
But
good. My
at least you got
hot
something.
sauce game this year.
I hate going to people's houses and they give me
Like
food
Frank's.
and there's no
No, I got hot sauce.
no,
in this
or
year. I got
there's
hot
no
sauce.
hot sauce. That's something Dominican people don't ever have hot sauce.
I gotta check on that. I'm gonna investigate that one later. But yeah, I have hot sauce. Like, but listen, you gotta try it. Hot sauce with lime, hot sauce, croqueta. You can call me and thank me later.
Do you
Like,
with a
it's
cracker?
amazing.
Hot sauce, lime, croqueta.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
that's the
crazy.
combo. Ooh.
Yes.
All right, I'll try it. I'm a foodie, so
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Now, chicken croquetas or spinach croquetas. Don't touch that. That's
I had a feeling you wouldn't like it only because there seems to be this thing where people, like, when they have a food that's their favorite, if there's something that tastes a little bit healthier or they know is a little bit healthier, they're like, that's not the real shit.
Spinach is actually, as a healthy alternative, fine. The chicken ones are trash.
Just in
Yo,
general. So how do you
oh
feel about
my
empanadas? Does it
Alright,
have to be beef or
it-
will you eat other ones?
No,
Alright,
I do other ones.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
and the thing with empanadas is there's like in Miami, all of them are different because all of them come from a different place.
Yeah. I
Right.
don't like the ones with raisins, but I don't love them. As
No,
much as
and the
without
Colombian
raisins.
little
No,
fried
listen.
ones are different. The baked fried, yeah, there's a lot of.
Venezuelans and Colombians alike make amazing empanadas.
Yeah.
They are amazing because they make the shredded beef inside it, and they too have their own but they don't have like the Tabasco hot sauce. They have their own like in-house salsa that they put on it, like their own like spices and whatnot and hot sauces. Amazing. Their salsa,
But
very
then
amazing.
you just get that stuff like the same sauces in an arepa if you're getting Venezuelan food.
Okay. Have you guys had a Haitian patty before?
No, I was about to ask you. Is
They're
there
fucking
anything
amazing. All right, here's what happens with a Haitian patty: it's a puff paste or whatever, but specifically, there's some types that they kind of fold them like an empanada and they kind of seal it closed with a fork and all
Right.
that. But then there's the ones that where it's like many layers folded over of dough, and it's super flaky, and they fill it with meat, or you can get the traditional one, which is like herring.
What's herring?
That's like a type of fish. It's a little fish. It's almost like sardines.
Oh, that's dope. Sardine tastes good. And then it's kind of like a crawfish patty, but with that.
Close, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the shit is fucking amazing. Like I gave one to my girlfriend's parents because they're from like Suriname, so they never had nothing like that. And then they tried it and they were like, "Holy shit!" Because when you get them fresh and you eat them fresh, it's like I'm trying to think of. It's almost like the a guava and cheese sort of pastriness to it,
Really?
but it'll be fucking spicy meat inside of it instead of something sweet.
I don't know. You had me on the meat, like the
Oh,
meat
no,
also.
it's-
the fish
it's-
version. I can't do it. Like
There's chicken ones and some people make beef ones. Not you don't find beef that common, but chicken is big and the herring is the other one that's big. But I love the chicken. Herring is like.
what's
tough.
your favorite Haitian dish?
Holy shit. Something that I can fuck up when done really well. It's called ligging, and what it is, it's like mashed up vegetables. It's based with eggplant, and then they just do all types of vegetables in there. So they'll do eggplant, they'll do like carrots, they'll do spinach or some kind of leafy green and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And they cook it down almost like a stew. You usually use like a beef broth and a large beef bone in there, and you kind of cook it. And sometimes people put crab in it. It's fucking great. My second choice, if I can't have that, is griot.
Oh,
Yeah, because you gotta stick with the classics.
I was about to
Chicken
say,
griots.
man, that's like the staple out here in the Haitian community.
Legume sounds crazy. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, legume.
Legume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta remember that shit.
It's really good with like
Yeah.
some white rice. It's really good. I love it.
We're gonna have to spell some of these.
Not,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. My eyes is gonna write that.
Man, Hennessy, let me ask you. I know we've been talking about it already, man. Your parents are Haitian, but are you from Haiti originally yourself, or are you born out here?
No, I'm from the U.S. I've been born and raised in the U.S.
Where, here in Florida?
Yeah. I've lived my entire life in like Boynton.
Boy, okay, so you West Palm Beach for real, huh?
Yeah, I'm West Palm for real.
That's
Sometimes
sick.
people think I'm like a Miami kid, and I, it's like being from Jersey, and people are like, "You New York?" And you go, "Yeah," because you don't want to be like fucking orange, bitch, orange New Jersey.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what part of New York are you from? I'm like, I ain't from New York. And they're, why do you sound like that? I go, because y'all motherfuckers came here in the 90s and hung around me a lot, so I picked up your accent. That's what happened.
That's always a weird one, right? The Floridian with the Northeast accent, just because of the
it's
the
I miss
Oh yeah, that's
Yo, what's up, kid? You're
That's
like,
like
where are
New
you
York.
from? Kendall.
what? Baby.
Yo, I'm about to get this coffee, man, after I play some ball. What's up, y'all? I want to go. Where you from, man? Lee.
But yeah, I spoke Spanish in Miami so long that I don't really have an accent when I speak Spanish. People just don't know I'm not American.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's Cuban people, Venezuelan people, Colombian people.
I know they all have their own accents. I used to date some chick from Dominican Republic, and I said, "You speak Spanish like it's Italian."
Yeah. It's the, and then like my parents are different shit. My dad's Puerto Rican and my mom's Ecuadorian.
Okay.
So like I really could just bounce around those depending
Mhm.
on like situationally what's better. So like around any like Caribbean type of Spanish people, it's just better to be like a Puerto Rican.
Learning Spanish might have been different for you, though, right? Because you're learning like a Puerto Rican style Spanish. Versus,
Oh,
like,
I would
a
always say L's instead of R's as a kid. They wanted to put me in speech therapy.
Wow. I went through a little phase like that for some reason. I thought like the R's were supposed to be rolled.
I
Sound like
I thought R's were pussy
The
shit.
red dog. Clifford the red dog. Alright.
Oh man. So what was it like for you, man, growing up? With Haitian parents in West Palm Beach.
First things first, they tried to put me in Esau real early.
What?
Yeah, because they met my dad. It's like, when it's like kindergarten, you gotta meet the parents, and you're like, oh shit, all right, we gotta put this kid in Esau. This motherfucker don't speak a lick of English.
Bullshit. Yo.
But I spoke English. It was fine. I was watching Frasier and shit. I was in the game. Like, I was fucking American.
Did
Because
you
of
learn
TV.
Creole first in home, or did you?
I
learn
learned.
Spanish?
I think they kind of came at the same time, but I would say the thing that came first that I did well was English, because my brother and my sister would speak English to me.
Okay.
TV is always on. My parents wasn't really fucking monitoring what I was doing, so I was just watching TV all day. That's obviously going to be in English. The only people speaking Creole are them, and I don't want to talk to them. So, I sucked for a while. I did suck at the language for a while.
Oh, okay, cool. So you bypassed Esau and had a normal life there then.
Yeah, it was like my mom tells me stories now, because you forget shit
Right.
when you're that age. But she was like, yeah, when you was a little kid and they tried to put you in Esau, but then you just started telling the kids like what to do and all that stuff. Apparently, when I was a kid, I was like, all right, this is what you're going to want to do on your work, and I'm just helping the teacher out, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, why are you here? Get out. I was in there for like, I would say like 3-4 months. I was in Esau. For like 3-4 months.
It took them 3-4 months to figure out you was on the
school.
East.
I was in Esau for first grade.
Yeah, you gotta move some paperwork around.
You did Esau too? You did the Esau experience?
Yeah, I had the Esau experience, but it was cool because it was just like school in Ecuador for me again.
Just hanging in one room all day.
If I would have stayed in Esau my whole life, I might have been one of the motherfuckers that just never learned English.
You know what? There's something to be said about people who are stuck in Esau and they don't ever lose the accent.
Yeah.
You keep that fucking accent longer and longer the more you're in Esau.
How do you have that accent? You were born here.
Hey, teacher, I got a question. And you're like, what for you? You grew up on 183rd. Why you talk like that?
Oh man, that is true, yo. I've seen that sometimes. How your child still have an accent? Like, how come he can't say like what's that?
Oh, yo, shout outs to all the Carroll City Hispanic kids. That's the funniest accent in the world
Really?
to me.
Okay. What's going on in Carroll City?
Well, because it's just, they use the same slang as the dudes in Carroll City, but in like very shitty Hispanic accents, so it sounds the best.
I know a couple cats like that. Be like, what's up, Da? Hey man, what's up? Y'all gonna get lit?
Oh, you green. You green.
You green. You green. But an unnecessary R rolling. You green.
Oh my god, man! So you grew up in like somewhat of a Haitian household religiously, like
Somewhat.
based on religious rules.
Everything was bound by the Bible. Everything was biblical in teaching. I grew up with parents like at the height of their religiosity, and me being a youngster, I was going to church 5 days a week.
Holy moly, bro!
Yeah, I tell kids about that, they couldn't even understand. They're like, you didn't run away? How you not running away?
That sounds so miserable.
Bro, who can tell it? You got 2 on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then sometimes Friday, sometimes Saturday.
Did you follow to the letter of the Bible growing up?
For a while, I thought I was gonna be a lot of things. One of them was a preacher.
You
I was
thought?
like, well, maybe, and then my mom. I knew something was up. I think now I can look back and be like, okay, there was probably something up, because when I would think maybe I should be a preacher, mom was like, I don't want you. That's too messy. I don't want you being no preacher. I was like,
Shit,
messy?
what
What do you mean messy?
I would think a mom would shed tears if her child said, "Hey, I want to be a preacher."
What? I said I wanted to be a preacher. My grandpa told me I was gay. I was like 8 years old, and I was like, I guess that's gay.
Oh, you want no pussy? You just gonna join the church?
Yo, I am shocked right now. I thought this whole time that this would be one of those jobs that your parents would be like extremely happy with you in
It
life.
depends on the parent.
Yeah, I think white right-wing Christians would like that.
Man, I see dollar signs, man. That's the evangelical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's the same reason my parents were like, I don't know, because they understood hustling ass preachers, because they were going from church to church trying to find a pure, super like by the letter of the law, and they kept finding preachers with taking money or doing this or doing that and backsliding. And they're like, damn, everybody's corrupt.
Really? Your parents were that particular?
Churches are a scam, though. A lot of them are.
But I figured you'd go whether you knew they were crooked or not. At least you're washing your soul and you feel better about yourself.
Nah.
It gets to you if you really give a fuck.
Wow.
And
they don't eat that
if
shit.
you're cheap and religious at the same time,
That's
they
biblical.
they fight each other.
That's biblical. To be cheap and religious.
Hey, what do you think Joel Osteen's parents said to him when he said he was going to do what he's doing?
Yes! That man got a jet.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Because like
A jet before 50.
if I told my parents I was gonna be a preacher on some fucking pure soul shit, they would not be down. But if I told them I was gonna do it as a scam,
Like, I got a new hustle. You guys, listen. I got a new way to make some money.
The Church of Mateo.
This needs to be a movie of some sort, man.
That's
I would love
to
to do that movie. The person who's like, I'm gonna start a church to make some money tax free, and then like people keep coming and the church keep growing and he keeps doing it, but he's like, I don't know, maybe God real, maybe not.
Yeah, instead of a sip of wine, you could just have like a beer. You can smoke a blunt in there. And if I can make smoking a blunt part of the religion, the government's got to respect it. It's religious rights.
like fucking peyote with a spiritual fucking awakening.
And they got snake charmers with those snake rattlers, the ones that get
Those people in those tents fucking holding rattlesnakes.
But I'm saying, if you get a hold of rattlesnake, why can't we just all like blunts?
Amen.
For real.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Because people don't want you ingesting any. Like, super religious people will tell you shouldn't put nothing in your body that's not naturally there. The poison from the snakes ain't supposed to be there either. But the idea is they won't bite you because it's God. But if you're in a situation where you need these people to really believe what you're trying to sell, you gotta do some crazy shit.
Yeah, for real, right?
So,
I guess, man.
So, offering people weed, that's a good way to get them in your church. Offering them liquor, that's a good way to get them in your church. You're going to have a lot of people saying, that's crazy, that's blasphemous, but the ones who fuck with it, they're going to fuck with it hard.
Yeah, I don't even want a band, I want a DJ.
Give it up one time. For our choir director, MC Crucifix, give it up. For my God is an awesome.
One time for Jesus.
He died for my sins and yours.
You know, be like, all right, let's take a time and pray for that last shipment that got busted last week. We pray that that shipment doesn't get released.
I can preach or we can watch a movie.
That's funny. I can preach and we can watch a movie.
You start quoting scripts from different weed movies, like thou in the chapters of what was that movie, Half Baked and shit. Start quoting scriptures off Chappelle from there and shit. Let me ask you, man, talking about comedy right now, like, how did it happen for you, Hennessy? How in God's name did you go from like a religious household with Haitian parents picking different churches, finding the right one?
Trying to find the pure pastor. Trying to find the holy rollers.
Bypassing Esau challenges 3-4 months later. Like, how did you take to stage being a comedian, man?
All right, so I've always wanted to make people laugh. I find in that comedians, the natural born of us, we consumed comedy in some form. Maybe it was stand up, maybe it was just cartoons, maybe it was fucking just sitcoms or whatever, and we saw it and we said, I want to do that. So we would try to do it to our friends. And like I remember specifically coming up with funny things to say. I didn't know I was writing jokes at the time, but I was coming up with funny shit to say tomorrow at school.
Oh, you were preparing jokes?
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna light these niggas up with some shit tomorrow. And
how would you give me an example? Like, how did you do that?
Oh, if I'm like watching, say you watching Mad TV or some shit, right? Something pop off with Mad TV on Saturday, and you go, oh, that's funny as fuck. I'm gonna do my version of something like that, cause that's all you know. So you like, I'm gonna do my version of that shit on Monday. Them niggas gonna go crazy. And I was doing that. But the way I found myself in it was because I always thought I'd end up in stand-up, but I never put any effort to being in the stand-up. Until I opened my own business and the motherfucker failed.
Wait.
Oh yeah. So like I got out of school, I worked at a job, I started learning how to, the ropes and all that shit. It was my first like real professional job once I was out.
What were you doing?
I was working as a broker.
A broker?
Yeah. So I was working as a broker, and then I was like, all right, let me do this shit.
What kind of broker? The real estate or like?
It was high-end vehicles. So what we would do is we would coordinate large-scale purchases between like different entities across the country and all that stuff. People would want like, you can get a car cheaper in California than you can in, let's say, in New York, but you live in fucking Jersey. We'll get you that car from California. We'll get it over to you and all that shit. Set up leases and all that stuff. So what ended up happening though is like I got good at it and I was like, shit, I think I could fucking do this on my own. So I tried to open my own shop. Things was moving. We was doing well. And then we did it. We didn't do well. Shit started going bad, but I was like, all right, I think, I can handle this.
How long into it was that?
Like a year and a half. Most businesses fail within 2 years.
That's what I was gonna say, but that's pretty good that you got a year and a half in.
Yeah, I got a year and a half in on my own, and I was like, all right, I can do this. But then shit, kept getting harder and harder. And
is that a complex business?
It is, only because of the fact that you're always like, when you open your own business, and you own your own business and all that stuff, you are responsible with coming up with new ways to make money literally every day.
Oh, I know it.
You can have whatever your plan is. And whatever your script for sales and all that shit, your business model, but you literally need to come up with a way to make money every day.
Yeah.
Because it ain't for now, it's for later, and you can use that plan that you came up with 6 months ago. Like you literally just got to keep coming up with ways to make money, utilizing the things you have available to you. And I was doing okay, but the business itself was suffering.
How old
were
you at this time?
Dude, I was like 25.
25. I mean, that's good to start a business. It's rough, man. It really is. I've been in business myself now. Wow, I'm going on year. This is 2019. I'd say about 16 years in business. Okay. I gotta admit, man, my first 2-3 years were a nightmare. It was like I was scraping damn near peanuts, man. Like, I was young. I was in my 20s. I lived with my mom. That saved me, but like that was rough. I know that sentiment to this day. Like, as long as I've been in my business and being a business owner, you're always wondering, like, man, what's that next paycheck? Because I can tell you right now that how much money I'm gonna make next week, I have no motherfucking clue. I could make $2 next week, or I can make $2,000. Who knows?
And that's
your business.
Thing. That's the thing about when you work for yourself, and that was always the hardest part, was you couldn't make the plans that your friends can make when they go, oh shit, fuck it, I'm gonna get checks, I'm gonna get a check in about 2 weeks, we can go do XYZ. You don't have the luxury to say, all right, holla at me in 2 weeks. You don't know what the fuck is gonna happen in 2 weeks unless you save that money now. If you have it, save it now, and then hope that you didn't need to dip into it when 2 weeks times is up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you want to put it into the business a lot of times.
You are supposed to. You really aren't
You-
supposed to
that's what
pay
you're supposed
yourself
to do.
outside of literally keeping yourself alive. Like, you're not really supposed to collect money for years. Like, profit? You're not supposed to collect profit. for
Nah, you
years.
got to be investing in your business and just holding it up and, you know, getting to where you need to be before you can even see yourself making official money, you know. Even with these things, man, doing these podcasts and shit, like,
Yeah.
you start these things up, man, like, it's not pretty at the beginning, man.
No,
it takes a
it's
little
not.
while. Even with comedy, and we were talking about that. You said you went from, like, going belly up into comedy?
What ended up happening is I was kind of going down, but I was doing well because I shot to the moon. Because once I opened my own place, all the people that I was working with was like, "You got your own spot? Hell yeah, I'm fucking with you." They all fucking jumped ship.
Okay.
I didn't even ask them. They all just came
Yeah.
and all that shit, and then things were straight. So I was doing okay. Business wasn't, you know, where I would imagine, because when you cocky, your head
Yeah.
is in the sky. You don't think to yourself like, I'm gonna scrape by it and I'm gonna do one thing and do another thing and inch my way to the top. No, you like, you know what? This started at an 8, so it only God knows how far this is about to go. So
This shit about to go to a 15, bye-bye, 2 more months, pop bottles.
exactly. So that shit was happening for a while, and then, you know, things started falling off. But no matter what, I wasn't really happy, and that was the thing I had to go back around and think about, because I wasn't happy when I was in school like that. I was happy in the sense of, like, you a kid in school, that's what you do, you're having fun.
Right.
But then once I was out and I got a job, I wasn't happy. I was like, I bet the reason I'm not happy is because I got a boss. I bet that's what it is. So I opened my own business. I wasn't happy. And I was like, fuck, I'm supposed to be working for myself and I'm still not happy? What the fuck? And time goes on, I get fucking crazy, I get bored, I get fucking upset, I get depressed, I start taking drugs, I start doing all this shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude, I OD'd in
What?
2015 on June 30th.
What?
I was out for 2 days.
What the fuck did you take?
Everything. All right, no, I took.
I did Frankie's, baby.
What ended up happening was I took a lot of Xanax, some codeine, and I was smoking weed. I was like literally self-medicating because I was so like I was going through a lot of shit. Like every morning I would make this shit I'd call freak juice just to get me out the house. Freak juice was fucking Everclear grain alcohol, a 211 fruit punch flavor.
What?
A little bit of Sprite. And
A little bit of
a little bit of Sprite and and some moonshine. There was this like
Moonshine?
Oh yeah, there was this moonshine that I saw at Total Wines of all places. I can't remember the brand, but I remember it was a mason jar and it had like preserves in it and shit. But it was it tasted good.
This was
shit
your breakfast, you said?
Oh yeah, I would have it on an empty stomach because I knew it would fuck me up.
What?
And then I'd like hit the road, go to fucking my office and try to work and all that shit. And I was doing that, and I lost my mind over that time. I was going crazy.
What was your rock bottom moment there?
Oh,
Was it the OD? Was it the ODing? Because I think ODing is rock bottom.
Oh, here's the like official bottom for me. Was I know the place? I don't know exactly the name, but it's on 40. Anyone who's familiar, 45th Street in West Palm Beach. There is a facility for people who have been Baker acted.
Oh.
I was put in that facility because the night that I OD'd, they were like, "We're not sure if you tried to kill yourself, but you definitely look like you did try to kill yourself.
What
so
the
you are
fuck?
now officially under the state's control."
No.
I wasn't. They gave me applesauce to eat. I wasn't allowed to have a spork.
You just had to lick it.
Yeah, you just pop that bitch open. Just fucking like an idiot.
But they didn't put you like in no crazy suits or nothing, right? Like,
No
straight-
suit, but I was in fucking scrubs. Because they don't do you like dirty like they used to in the fucking 60s and 70s where they put you in a straight jacket and shit. But they'll give you like some scrubs or some shit and they'll put you in the facility with the other people who are strung out on drugs, people with mental illness, people with all this shit. And I remember I cried my eyes out because it was July 4th weekend and I was in the facility on July 4th weekend. And I remember fucking crying my eyes out because I'm in a room with a nigga just hitting himself and talking to himself and all this shit. We had lights out. I never had lights out life. My parents didn't tell me when to go to bed ever.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're like, all right, everybody to their rooms. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm just laying in a bed and I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't do shit.
Yeah.
I'm not under my own control at all. And I was like, all right, when you get out of here, you need to start deciding how you're going to live.
I would, man. I think that if I had gotten to that point, I would have been like, fuck that, man. But so right there, what came next after all that?
What came next was me getting out because I had disappeared for all those days. And in that short amount of time, when you're gone, you know, your business can go fucking belly up real quick because motherfucker can't get a hold of you. No one knows what's going on. You're just off the grid completely for like 2-3 days.
It's got to be like the stock market because that's time and money. So like,
yeah,
if you're not
talking
around,
about hundreds of thousands of dollars that I'm accountable for or whatever, and I'm just not around. Everybody's like, what the fuck is going on? Where the fuck are you? And I'm like, hey guys, I just got out the hospital.
Came back. He went back to his office and it was like a CVS EMAS.
Oh my god, bro, it was crazy. It was one of those things where I was like, all right, I gotta get up. I was trying to run the business for a little bit longer, but then I realized like, no, this isn't for me. And right as I realized this isn't for me, everything went bad.
I mean,
it happened at the same. And when I say bad, I mean like business partner fucked up. Clients were like, we can't handle what's happening. We out. Bills are due.
Yeah, instead of hooking them up with like luxury cars, you must have been getting like Hyundai Accents and shit.
Oh, bro, you're talking about a situation where you got people in a, you know, where they're like, yo, I'm waiting for this order. And I'm like, me too. Like, I know I'm supposed to fill your order.
I'm just as surprised as you are, sir.
And they're like, well, you gotta make something shake. And I'm like, would you like your money back? Nigga, this ain't about money no more. Like, because they are also business owners. You know what I mean? I'm talking to other business owners who are like, I'm putting basically millions of dollars in faith in you.
You obviously you are like, listen, man. I'm surprised you got all your appendages talking to us still.
You know what? The only reason I think I'm above ground, the only reason I think things are good for me is because of the fact that I was in a situation where everything was above board, 1, and 2, you know, I was dealing with people who were big in what they did, so I was a small fish who failed.
But they were, at least you had like these people here to back you up, and is what you're saying.
Well, no, it's just what happened to him happens. You know,
Yeah, it makes
like
if you have a whale of a customer or of a client, they look at you like you fucking nothing, you fucking
yeah, I
piece of
see what
shit.
you're saying.
That's why it's like they can walk away from me, and they can be like, well, fucking, you know, you owe us this or whatever. But we gonna keep moving on. It's not like some tooth and nail fight to the death. We gonna get you for everything you worth. You going to,
right?
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't somebody like, you ruined my life and I'm trying to ruin yours. It was people going like, you fuck up, bye. And
well, at least you were lucky enough to get out of that then scathed, I guess. Unscathed,
you know what? I'll say that is 100% true, and it really makes me think of, because have you guys seen the Firefest documentaries?
Yeah.
I watched that Firefest documentary and like, holy shit, that's what I would be if my mind wasn't right. Because that was a dude who kept hitting licks, getting lucky, and keep pushing it. And when things would go bad, he would never say, all right, let's end the game. He'd double down. He'd say, no, keep the fucking money on the table. It was roulette to him. Just keep the fucking spinning piece. And I watched it and I was like, fuck, okay, so that's like a fundamental.
You saw a lot of yourself in that?
I saw a lot of what could be me to a point, and where the delineation, where the line and the separation comes, and it took me fucking up real hard for me to go, all right, I'm out, but I didn't have to get in crazy trouble. I got in some heated waters, but it was nothing that like some, you know, business magnate doesn't get into every day.
Right. Let me tell you, man, you sound like a rare story out here, because there's people like that Firefest guy out here, man. It's like a dime a dozen. I think brokers, for the most part, especially out here in South Florida, man, they're crooked as shit. If you got broker on your
if you're a
title,
middleman,
they'd sell crack if they could.
yeah. Brokers are about as dirty as it gets, man. And South Florida, it seems like they're like a dime a dozen, and they all don't think like you. They don't think, damn, you know, I think I flew too close to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stop here. I think some of them are so insane that they're like, I flew too close to the sun, but I'm gonna circle back around and try it again, and I'm gonna do this time.
Yeah, the
You know
idea
what I
is
mean?
that they fucked up, not in doing it, but in doing it that way.
Right.
And they're like, I know how to correct course on this, and it's like, yo, motherfucker, you are literally trying to sell shit you don't know nothing about, or you trying to be involved in a business you don't understand, or you're just bad at it.
Yeah, I think that takes a lot of self-reflection in somebody to make a decision like you made, man, to realize, hey, look, you know, I'm being an asshole here right now. This ain't my place.
I became a different person before it, and then after the entire thing, it changed my perspective in a lot of ways, and it just made me be somebody who realized the importance of embracing, like, one, the good moments I'm having, and then two, making the pursuit of self.
Right.
The pursuit of self, like the importance of all you have is you. Even when you got loved ones and all that stuff, but even they have to leave at some point when you close your eyes.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's certain things that are just totally on us as individuals, you know, and no matter family or not, no matter if someone says I'm with you through it all, there's just that one moment that this is all you. There's nobody there that's going to hold your hand legit on this side of the fence. You know what I mean? I think I know where you're getting at, but tell me this. But through all this, like, where did comedy come in? How did the birth of the comedian in you come out?
The way the story goes is that, like, you know, I'm out on my ass. Business is shut. The doors are shut. Fucking, I gotta leave my house. I lost my car. I lost everything because I'm trying to keep this shit, you know, rolling, because that's what you do. And then, you know, I'm just living in my homeboy house, and I was like, fuck, man, this is stupid. I should go do something. I'm gonna go tell jokes, because I remember I would go on Facebook and be like, one day, you know, I might get out here and be on an open mic. Y'all never know. And that shit would get like 2 likes. One homeboy saying, nah, nigga. and then I was like, all right, well, maybe not. But eventually I just got to the point where after having that happen to me, and in that moment, I was like, that's literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me. How can someone booing me be worse? So because that's your fear, right? Is your fear before you do stand up is you'll get booed.
We all have that fear.
Yeah. So I went into it and I was just like, fuck it. I picked a day. I was like, I'm gonna do it on this day. I'm gonna prepare. I gave myself like, how long that? I think I gave myself like 2 weeks to get ready for my first fucking open mic. Right. Yeah, like I went on Google. I Googled open mics. I found a webpage that had all the mics in South Florida listed, and I was like, here we go. I'm gonna hit this shit hard. And I did it, and it didn't go terribly, and I was like, all right, I think this is it. And then I just never stopped from literally that day.
Where was your first room?
My very first room was at Awana Kava in Fort Lauderdale. They used to run like a mic out there. I remember what's interesting about the story is that my friends, when I told them, all right guys, I picked the day I'm gonna do stand-up, my friends were like, oh shit, you about to go do stand-up? We gotta support you, bro. We gotta come through. Let us come through. We coming through. We don't even fuck what you gotta say. We coming that bitch. And I was like, ugh, I don't want y'all fucking at my fucking show. But I knew I couldn't keep them from going there. So I told them the wrong night. Yeah, I told them like I'm gonna do comedy on a Tuesday. I did that shit on Monday. It's secret. Just to get that first one for me. And I was like, the first one is always mine. I was by myself, no backup, no nothing. We on the strength of you, nigga. We finna see what you got. And it went okay. And then on the second night, an old man stood up and threw condoms at me. And I was like, all right, so.
Wait a minute. Wait, why are they throwing condoms?
Oh, this is just like some crazy dude. I didn't understand crazy. You know how we know crazy people now?
Yeah.
Based on, like, we just
Doing
know.
stand-up?
Yeah, we can
some real
tell
crazy.
people who are crazy immediately, but you don't have that sense in the beginning. So in the beginning, this dude was just like looking at me and sort of dancing towards me, and I was like, this guy's having fun. All right. And then he just sticks his hands in his pocket, and he just starts throwing condoms. I was like, I was just standing there, and this is their first time. They think this is my first time, and so they're like, my friends are like, oh shit, and they phones start coming out, and then just start recording me. They're like, this will be funny, I'm sure. This will be funny. And
Oh man,
That's
That
how that
was
happened.
great, man. That's fantastic. Did you talk to the guy after when he threw the
Fuck
condoms?
no. I was furious.
You throwing condoms, man. What condoms were you throwing? Trojans at you?
Oh no, there was lifestyles. It was real bullshit. There was like the colored ones.
Let me ask you, man, with your first time, when you like, you said you got through it and it wasn't so bad, but were you nervous on stage? What
I
your
was
feeling like?
nervous because I was doing something I never did before, but I wasn't nervous to be in front of people as much as a normal person would be, only because when I went to, like, when I was in college and all that stuff, I came into school as a music major.
Music major?
Yeah, so I came in as a performer, as somebody who's used to being in front of people.
What you mean? You were like,
I was
beat
vocal
major?
performance major, so basically I learned how to sing operas and shit.
You can sing operas.
Yeah, I was pretty good. I won competitions and
Get
state.
the
I won the state title in high school, and then I won the state title in college.
Hold on a second. First off, like, how's there even competitions for opera? Like,
Well, you pick an aria, you pick a song or whatever, and then there's judges, and they judge you based on the piece you decide to use.
how does a guy that's doing broker sales like go into opera? Like, why opera? Like, how did?
Well, basically, it was funny. It ended up where I thought I was gonna bring opera to the hood. I was like, this is coming with me. I'm gonna go out there and learn from these white people, and I'm gonna bring it back to the hood with me. Because I was a singer, so I could always sing. But you know, when you're a singer and you're in school and you want to be a singer, they're not like, there's jazz and all that stuff you can learn, but they typically put you in classical stuff because it's fucking stuffy Eurocentric education.
Yeah,
So,
that's like always
they're
like
gonna
a
teach you
101, right? They always stick you in those shits. I hate them.
Yeah,
shits.
you're gonna learn all the European shit because that's how it goes. That's their foundational
White people
education
standards.
system. Yeah, that's white people standards.
Yeah, that's why I didn't
It's
say the band
European
class,
education.
because it was just, I didn't like the music.
You just skipped. You said,
Nah, I stayed, like, I learned how to
There's
read
a
music,
lot of
and then
musicians.
it wasn't fun to me.
There's a lot of
Shit
musicians,
else was
fucking
whack.
sick pianists, sick bass players, sick guitarists, whatever, but they just don't fuck with the required course. And they're like,
It's
fuck, I gotta learn all
whack.
this old, dusty music and
Yeah.
all that shit.
It is. I don't know why they don't change the requirements on that. Like,
You don't get to really mess around until like grad school.
you get a little more.
Then you get a little freedom, but that's just like anything else. Like, you only get freedom once they can trust that you know the foundation.
And once
But
you've been
the foundation
brainwashed.
is up to them.
Once you, I mean, and I don't think, maybe not as music, but in education, I guess, or in the college field, once you're in graduate school, you've been put through their program long enough where they don't think that you're gonna
fuck it up
around
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna dig around. You're not gonna waste anyone's time because it's more expensive and it's even more time consuming. And you did it on your own. No one asked you to go to grad school, really.
Let me ask you, how many years did you spend then studying this?
Ugh.
You said you grad school here, so I'm assuming. What
I
you
didn't
put
go
like-
to grad school.
Oh no? Okay, what you do?
I
Like 2
went. I
years?
ended up doing the thing where like I'm from down here, so I went to community college. I'm from Florida. I went to
Real South Florida.
Yeah, you ain't no real Floridian if you ain't spent time at no community college.
Yeah, if you never at least taken a class there, you really are not a Floridian.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not. That's just a part of the fucking game. So I was learning it in there, and I took fucking 2 years there, and then I did 2.5 at FAU.
Holy crap, man! But that's some time. That sounds like 4.5 if I have to do
Oh,
math
dude,
right
I
now.
spent a long time in school.
So let me ask you if
So, did you try to pursue this at all after college?
Not at all.
no.
You didn't
Not
want
at
to?
all. Like it's not even. It was one of those things where I had no idea how you pursue it. Like, all right, you gonna sing opera? Go ahead, nigga, sing opera. Be like, where you finna go? You finna book the lounge down the street and be like, because all you literally have typically is education.
Oh man, you think I'm going to the street? I'm going to the club tonight, baby. I'm gonna drop some vocals out there.
Yeah, fucking go to open mics. And fucking everybody's like, this nigga screaming too much.
Man, so let me ask you, since we're talking about it here with opera, like when I hear it, I never understand what's going on. They say there's always like a story.
Yeah,
and everything.
It's
Like,
how they watch
what's
the
that
movies before AC. That's how you had fun in Italy in the fucking 17th century.
What did you take back learning from it, like with opera? What did you learn studying that shit?
I mean, one of the things I think I learned that's like a life thing that has nothing to do with technique or theory. That was the thing that taught me the importance of repetition. I used to never give a fuck about practice.
Right.
I never gave a fuck about practice. I never gave a fuck about like getting something right. But that shit, it touched me in the right way where I was like, no, I was obsessed with being the best. And the only way you can guarantee yourself the best is by practice. You can't guarantee yourself the best by just on the strength of talent. There's no way to measure talent.
If you like something enough, you can get good at it. And like getting good at something, it just shows you how to get good at another thing.
Yeah,
of course.
Oh yeah. It taught me fucking how to prioritize time to something and how to think about things, because it's more than just like the act of it, but literally thinking about how you can evolve whatever you're doing when you're not doing it.
Man, so you never touched opera music, which is fascinating to me. Like someone,
never professionally.
I would
outside of school.
I would want to pursue that. I would want to be trying to try those vocals with the fucking 3 tenors and shit. We're making 4 tenors, baby.
Yeah. Oh my god. Like
Andrea Bocelli don't got shit on.
That was such an amazing time in America that no one talks about anymore. When we're just like going crazy for opera singers for like 3 years. It was,
remember that?
It was Pavarotti. It was fucking Andre Bocelli selling out stadiums.
Yo, fuck, man.
That was like Beyonce tour before Beyonce shit. Like it was them 3 niggas, the 3 tenors.
And you think that like backstage women were going crazy for them?
Old ladies, for sure. Like no matter, you can see it in women's eyes. Like they can't turn that off. Like whatever that is that goes crazy for talent. Like they can't turn it off no matter how old they get. Like they just get a little older and they go. Like when they see you talented at something.
I can picture like Andrea Bocelli like hanging out at a strip club. Can you imagine that? Yeah, you just see
blind as fuck.
What? Like a stripper does it as like a trick that he just hangs into her pussy.
Hold it open. I got a note to
I think I would want to go to the strip club with the 3 tenors and Andrea Bocelli. Was he a part of the 3 tenors?
No.
It was Pavarotti. And I know the other 2 are hella famous too, man. I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, they all had their own fame. Pavarotti was he was the Justin Timberlake though. Like he was the face of the group, the main person. He's the one doing Good Morning America. Don't speak a lingua English.
Who's your favorite?
Franco Corelli was a beast.
This motherfucker threw a name I never heard of.
Yeah, because this shit ain't popping. It's not 1928. I'm naming somebody whose shit was only on records that you had to play with that big ass opening, the big fucking
the horn.
Yeah, the big horn shit. Like all his disc are this big. Like all his fucking records. But that was a dude to me that was a monster.
Are there any popular black opera singers?
Yeah, those the people who did Porgy and Bess. I can't remember their names. Like contemporarily, I haven't kept up with it. Like as far as like modern day, but you know they're all over. Basically, if you're really good at opera, if you're really good at classical shit now, you're on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
You're just on Broadway now because that's who they take. They take classically trained people and movie stars, and that's who they're gonna use. So that's pretty much where they're at.
Now you know what you got there sitting there in the corner. You got that in your pocket.
Oh, dude, I had the plan for the longest time that I wanted to be one of those few people that did the fucking full run. Who gets the Tony, the Emmy, the fucking
I thought about getting that.
And I was like, I'm one of those few people I think I could do it. But I could actually do that.
Yeah, I got my reggaeton musical ready.
You got yours ready?
Yeah, bro, that shit is sick when you have all those awards because you just seem like a generational talent. You're like Jordan. Everywhere.
It's just a rare class of me and people way more talented.
Oh man. Hey, so how long you been doing comedy then?
I just hit 4 years.
Ah, congratulations, man. 4 years. What's it feel like now?
I feel like a senior in like high school, but that's not like real life yet.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, I think from where I seriously got into comedy, I guess it was about the same time I met you, and just watching you, man, it's a complete transformation. I think, you know, I think with a lot of comedians out here right now, I've seen growth. You know, it's not with everybody. I'm not saying you. There's some the growth is minimal, but growth nonetheless.
Yeah,
You know what
of
I
course.
mean? With you, I've seen an immense growth. I was just with you at the F&O show.
Yeah.
Shout out to the F&O crew out there, man.
Actually, I think he's on my line right now. So
Oh, he's
shout
on your
out to
line?
F&O.
Yeah, shout out to them.
F&O.
But you know, we were there, and I watched your show, and it had been a while since I seen you perform, and I saw it, and I was like, man, like you are really different with your set. Like, you know, originally I can't recall what your topics were, but from what I can remember vividly from seeing you last time, I was like, you're like almost night and day a little bit with your set, your energy, man, and just your deliveries from the punchline, from the setup to the punchline, your deliveries are just really different, in my opinion. You know, maybe it's always been the same, and maybe I noticed it more, but what about you? Do you feel like you've changed?
I've 100% changed, but I think what it is me trying to tap into, as authentically as I can, whoever I am not on stage. Like, cause you're like, when you're making your friends laugh, when you're making people around you laugh, their bellies ache.
Right. Conversational fun is different.
Trying to tap into whatever that is, harness it, package it, and make it a clean product that can be consumed by anyone who doesn't know me.
How do you do that? Because I want to be honest,
Well,
I've struggled with that.
I get because it's kind of I've noticed sometimes where I'll just like before I ever did stand up that it feels like I'm crushing, where it's just like kind of rolling on stuff, people are laughing, and that's and it's just being able to harness that energy on stage is what you kind of got to figure out, because it's just I don't know
the spontaneity of it.
Well, not the spontaneity, but the context for stand up is kind of awkward. You have to find a way to get there.
And to me, I think the journey is how fast can we go from putting our first foot on the stage to we have full control of the room. Everything is slowed the fuck down. To them, it's at normal speed. You're quick to them, but you can feel that everything is slowed around you. So you're not panicky. Because when you're starting to do stand up, one of the things that's funny is like when comedians are doing well, but they're new and they're almost hyperventilating with excitement that these jokes are doing well. So they'll step on their own jokes, they'll fucking step on the laughs, they'll talk too much, they'll do too many things because it's just, oh my God, they're so happy that people are enjoying what they're doing right now that they're bursting with emotion. And it's finding a way to have that delicate balance of, you don't want to seem ungrateful for the laughter, but you don't want to seem overcome by the moment.
Right. So, I see what you're saying there. But what about you with the sense of your growth? Like from where you're at now, you said you feel like a senior, but like where do you see the most significant changes with you right now? Is it do you feel?
I think the thing that I'll try to give you something that's like a concrete thing. My ability to create a joke based on an idea I've had for a long time has gotten better and better. Like on stage, my ability to create a joke on stage, while like in the moment, has gotten a lot better. Because I used to write on stage, and everybody knows about fucking comedians that write on stage. Sometimes that shit can go well, and then a lot of times that shit don't go well. But I've gotten a lot better at it, and it served me in the sense of like, all right, so now I can take the shit that works, I can fucking chop it up, I can rewrite it, I can plug it in, and all of a sudden I have a packaged joke for like a real show.
Right. You know what? I feel like I've done that with some of my material too, man. I feel that some of it when I initially started, it was good, but I feel like as I've got more comfortable with it, I can stretch it out. I can shorten it if I need to on the set. Like I could play with that. Like I feel like certain words I could switch up.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel that more flexibility now with the joke. You know what I mean? So I can definitely see what you're talking about.
How do you guys feel about realizing like while you're saying a joke, realizing the skill of keeping it fresh?
Yes, yeah. Especially a joke that I've had for a while.
Yeah.
Where if I'm feeling the joke, it'll go well, and if not, it'll just be mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there some that you just put away? Like you just like fuck it. That joke slowly but surely just went to the back end.
It's a time thing too, where like if I know I'm normally doing like 10 minutes or less, I might kind of just whatever I did throughout one week might stick for a while, just because of, I guess, maybe even habit.
Yeah. I think that's hard too. I think there's some things that, going on stage, we get so complacent that we stay stuck with that one style, form, or joke, or line, or whatever it is. I know what you're saying, Mattel. That's for sure. But yeah, but with you, like, what about your topics? Have they changed from when you started?
I've gotten so much more personal now. Like, I literally got into stand-up wanting to fucking speak truth to power, whatever bullshit, while trying to, like, wedge in a good dick joke or a good pussy joke.
So you were throwing in politics, is what you're saying?
I was throwing in, like, what I think about women, what I think about this, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that now, with my material, I was like, all right, you gotta understand that these people don't know you from a hole in the wall.
Right.
So when you're about to give them your opinion, you should learn what it takes to make someone your friend first before you give them your, like, that was one of the biggest things I learned in stand-up, was getting to that place where I learned how to not pander to people, but get them to embrace what is about to happen.
Yeah, you build their trust.
Build trust, exactly. Building trust with people was one of those things.
You don't do crowd work.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
It was heavy. Yeah. Like, when I first started doing stand up, I had a big crowd work influence on me because I grew up fucking loving motherfuckers doing crowd work.
Really?
Patrice O'Neal killing with crowd work. Fucking Doug Stanhope will do crowd work sometimes. Big J. Okerson does crowd work. He had all crowd work.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
show where comedians do crowd work.
What's his name? He does crowd work sometimes. Dave Attell was a monster, like, in any kind of way. He's like, Dave Attell is one of those few people, like, that I don't know if people know how good he is.
Yeah.
Even though they're saying
he's good at every facet of stand-up.
He perfected almost all of it. Like, I look at Dave Chappelle, I'm like, Dave Chappelle's amazing, but this nigga Dave Attell is just chilling in the cut. Great at it. He can give you one-liners. He can give you stories. He can give you crowd work. And it was one of those things where, like, I learned it, and I knew I had a skill for talking to people, and it really helped bring people in, and it really helped me kind of play around with my style to hide it. Yeah. And I remember I learned some shit where it was, the idea was like, the moment the audience thinks they figured you out, they won't laugh no more.
I see what you're saying. Once they kind of figure out, oh, this guy's gonna just fucking do this for the rest of the set.
If they think they know you, they'll try to act better than you, and they'll act like they won't. If there's one thing to establish a rhythm, it's another thing to establish a pattern.
Yeah, people want to figure you out. They don't want to know you.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think that's just human beings in general.
And I think when you start stand-up too, like, you can talk about hypothetical shit and get easier laughs than talking about real shit. So.
Yeah. There's something to that.
What's your favorite style? Is it the crowd work? Is it set material, one-liners?
I think.
Where do you feel like it's my wheelhouse?
In my wheelhouse, I think it's always going to be a blend of things, but something, I think, if I can make it feel like they participated, even though it was all orchestrated. So, like, I ask you a question, you give me a response. I've written so many jokes, and I've jumped on so many topics that now my brain thinks in comedy form. So even if you like, oh yeah, this happened, I can go boom. All right, jokes. I'll write a joke right now, and as I write that joke right now, I will search the files for a piece of written material that I have that will link. And all of a sudden, I can bring this whole thing together and back to the point where now I'm comfortable again because I'm using written material that is tested, but it was able to be brought out to people in a way that was fresh and new because I let them bring it up.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta admit, man, that's a very dope concept because I feel like sometimes I can't. I don't like to stay on crowd work. I don't like to work with the crowd too much. I like to stay with my own set stuff, and I try to personalize it. You know what I mean? But like I said, watching you do it, man, I've seen it all come together for you.
I appreciate that, dude. It's been really a fucking journey because I maintain to this day. I've wrote on Facebook some goofy shit a long time ago where I was like, y'all think I'm good now? Wait till I learn how to write a joke. Because I really don't feel like I know how to write a joke. Because it seems like it takes forever to learn how to write jokes.
People have told me I'm good at writing jokes, and I don't think I know how to do it at all.
Exactly.
I think it's almost a rhythm. It's a rhythm to your own style. You know what I mean? Like, if you already know how to deliver and present yourself on stage with your comedy, you know, whether crowd working or not, you know how you're going to subject your tone even for the punchline.
Yeah.
You know, you have the rhythm there. I think sometimes when it comes to writing a joke, we don't have to write it verbatim. You know what I mean? We just got to write the beats down.
Yeah.
You know,
knowing what we need to know about ourselves.
Right. And you got to hit those points of what you wanted to say out of the joke. Everything else, the ands, the does, the setups, and whatnot, I think build themselves on stage as opposed to on the notepad. On the notepad, it's just to say, hey, I want to remember that the word farts is going to come off this joke because that's what's kind of the end all be all for the joke. You know what I mean? You know,
I get that. It's a thing that reminds you. It's a reminding.
Right. I don't think notes is for us to say, hey, I'm going to write down the word for word how I'm going to say this on stage.
And you know what's wild, though, about stand-up is, like, for as much... And I'm a believer in being present, being in the moment, and reading the room. There is an inherent skill and an inherent necessity in being able to be that kind of packaged comedian.
Yeah.
Because there will come a day where people say, hey, we got you on, we want to put you on this show. There's an audience here. They're gonna laugh as long as you do your shit, but you gotta go do some shit. Like, you can't vibe off the audience and all that shit. Like, you gotta come in there, knock their heads off. And that's like one of the craziest things. I remember me and my friend were talking about, like, it's tough, but you're in a situation where you don't know how good you are in comedy until you are somebody that a person can come up to and trust to crush because they need you to. We're about to put you up. We need you to do well.
Let me ask you, do you feel that, because I've seen this with some comedians, and you know what, I love confidence, man. I'm a big proponent of confidence. I don't think you could be on any stage under any form of art if you're not confident within what you're doing in yourself.
Yeah.
I don't feel it. But then there's some that take it overboard and they get cocky and they feel themselves a little too much, where now they're saying no one else is better but me type of mindset. Do you feel you carry any of that in? Any of that?
Yeah, I do. I'm arrogant in this sense. But my thing that I try to keep me going and keep me focused on is the idea of, okay, Mr. Big Shot, all this stuff you believe about yourself, what is there to say if anyone catches you, though?
Right.
Like, if you perform and then everyone does, because we've all been in that situation, or we've all at least seen that situation where two comedians or multiple comedians are standing around and an audience member goes, oh my God, you were amazing. Oh my God. You guys were great too. And when you ain't the motherfucker who was amazing, it's a humbling experience, boy. When your number is not called, you go, okay, all right, you telling me I was good because I'm in your face. Now I know I gotta go back to the lab. I gotta work.
Man, you know, I gotta say this with comedy and feeling that confidence level and having. I'm more of a person that I don't like to gloat. You know, I don't like to say I'm.
Gloat don't do you very much.
Yeah, I don't do those. I'm not saying I'm the best of anything. I don't like to do the talking. I like for others to do the talking for me. You know what I mean? I believe that if the crowd says I'm great or I'm good, then that's what I am authentically. You know what I mean? It's what I say.
It's bad for popularity. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
You need to say you hot shit if you want to be popular.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, I don't walk around doing that because you know what I feel like? If I walk in a room and, like, let's say all of us are in there together and I'm like, I'm the shit, I feel like I've undermined you guys. And I'm like, that's not fair because, you know what? I know what it took for you to be where you at. You know what I mean? Or I could imagine, and I can imagine for you. So,
but I mean,
I can't say I'm better than you like that.
I can respect what people are doing while still understanding that I think I'm better than them. And I think that even though I don't view humans in this way, viewing it in a craft where it's just like, yeah, dude, if it was basketball, maybe like I could slap the backboard and you definitely can't.
Yeah, listen, man. There's a little bit of listen. Egotism to me is not a problem. I'm okay with it. But when you make it blatant and you're just rubbing it into others, whether it's true or not, just the fact that you're willing to rub it amongst peers in your own industry.
I get that. It may speak to maybe insecurity or something.
You know,
right? Because you're doing so much just to prove a point that no one asked you to prove. No one said you're bad. You're the one saying you're good.
Right. That's why I prefer for like those moments where even if the person says you were great, I'm next to you, I'm the good. Yeah. I take the good too. I'm like, hey baby, I was good, man.
Yeah,
I wasn't great, but I was
Jordan. I get things like Jordan. I just like.
Listen, man. I won a best of the best competition.
Yeah.
And you don't know where my ego was that night. When I won that best of the best, I was like, oh, I beat all the best comedians. That was me. I walked around like, but then I go into tours and shit. Ain't nobody talking.
Yeah,
no one even noticed you got on stage.
That's what I love about comedy, though. I hate it and I love it.
The highs and lows of comedy, and it could be one day to the next, man. One day, I do some good, strangers are DMing me on Instagram like, yo, I saw that set.
Yeah, boy.
And the next day, I do so bad, I just gotta take a walk by myself.
Oh my god, dude. It's crazy because it's the same set. It's the same set. Like if you're a musician and you play a song, the shit finna hit if it's a hit.
That's what you think, son.
Yeah, but like it's the same mama joke. How do these people not like it?
Yo, look, man, for me, when that happens to me, I get so in my feelings and I'm so in my own head. I go, is it me? Am I doing bad? I gotta go redo. Maybe I said it wrong.
I don't even worry about it being me. I just think what I'm doing is stupid. I'm wasting my fucking time.
You went straight to the edge. You know,
damn, man, you went hard on
I should go back to school. I don't even know what I'm doing out here.
What do you do in those moments, though? What about you? What do you?
All right, tough. I feel like I bomb different now, but like even when I bomb now, I have these conversations though in my head where I was like, all right, nigga, you thought you was hot. Clearly, there's room for improvement. So you have two choices. You can either be like, fuck that audience was wrong, or you can try to figure out not a better way to say the same jokes, but a better way to be yourself. Because I cannot deny me being cool. Like, I can never deny it. Like, it never can happen. Because everywhere I go, I'm like, the people fuck with me. So it ain't me. I'm just not presenting myself correctly.
Yo, you don't understand how many times I feel like that. I don't blame. I'm like, it's the crowd. It's not me. Like, I blame the crowd before I blame myself. You ever been like that, Mateo? You look like
man,
you feel like you want
I
to say
fuck
something.
with hosts that give disclaimers before I go out. Like, hey, this is not for everybody.
Shout out to all the hosts who fucking submarine bomb their fucking acts. So like, this next guy coming to this stage, I've seen him crush it, I've seen him bomb, but y'all give it up. What are you telling these people, man?
You know what I like to do? I like to introduce people, and I like to say that they're no stranger to the comedy world. I don't like to say local comedian. I don't like to say South
that's one of my
comedian.
like pet peeves. I don't like getting called local. I know I live here, but I've traveled, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It makes you sound like you're this guy that decided to get off
Like
work.
it's hoop dreams. Yeah, bro. Niggas
I've done
like
this shit in
trying
other
to be a
countries.
fucking hooper.
I feel like it's undermining the very reason why I want to be here. You know what I mean? You made me sound like this is my very first night. And if I do bomb, they're going to be convinced this was my first night.
Like, hey, man, keep your head up, keep trying to go. Like, I wish a motherfucker would tell me to fucking stay in the game.
Man,
You got some talent. Keep doing it.
The only person that ever told me that is Bob Greasy.
Bob Greasy?
Because I bombed at the strip club so bad, they played Hit the Road Jack.
Oh, shit! You got hit with the song?
And fucking, I was just walking around and they're sad, man. You know what it's like to be sad when there's titties out? And fucking, I thought I was walking to the exit, and I was walking towards the VIP section on accident, and Bob Greasy was there, and he's like, hey man, that was kind of funny, keep it going.
Thanks, Ball Greasy. I will keep it going.
Oh my god. But yeah, man, I find those highs on those crazy, man. Let me ask you, being that he mentioned he performed in a strip club, what are your favorite type of crowds? What do you prefer?
Favorite type of crowd? I can be a curmudgeon. I can be a fucking little crabby ass motherfucker sometimes in my own head. I try not to be out loud, but I love a crowd who is having fun. Like, you know those people where it's like, hey, everybody, the comedy show's about to start, and they already are like, woo! I'm like, oh, this shit's gonna be lit, boy. Like, people who sound like they on a cruise, like, that's my crowd. Like, people who are really happy to hear some shit because it brightens my mood. It makes me able. Like, fucking, I've done G5 and shit when you got the fucking gangsters just looking at you, mean mugging and shit.
I was about to get to that right now. I can't
that shit is tough.
I can't do a thugged out room. Like, I perform for like drug dealers and like drug enthusiasts and gang members, and I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't know if you were there for my show with the F&O when I had my experience. Not to say the crowd was fully intended for that, but you know, I was kind of like the lightest person getting on stage. So,
you know, I don't mind being the only white or fair skinned person or whatever the fuck on the show. I just don't want to be like for it to be me and like a white guy and I gotta follow him. That shit fucking sucks.
They block y'all together. As a black person, I don't like the reverse when they just get their nigga hour. They roll 3 of us like one after the other. Like, here's your headliner, the white guy.
But yeah, man, I mean, I've been into some very thugged out rooms, man. I don't fare well in there. I don't think my set does, but do you think your sets fit for every crowd?
I went in the beginning because when I first started doing stand-up, I was trying to make it a point to never be afraid to go anywhere. Because I'm a big fan of comedy. I was a student of the game before I got in there. So I knew about black rooms. I knew about mainstream rooms and all that shit.
Okay.
And I didn't want to be scared of like going into black rooms because there's nothing sadder than a black comic who don't like to do black rooms. Yeah. And we all know comics.
Yeah.
Black comics who don't like doing black rooms.
It's amazing that I know a couple.
I encourage most people.
I tell everyone don't do it.
Yeah.
I tell the white boys, like, y'all missing out. Y'all don't understand. This could really help you blossom as a performer, and then as a fucking person of interest in the community. You never know. These people might really fuck with you and support you just on the strength of you made them laugh. They go, you know what? What's your IG? I'm finna follow you. And you're like, you just got a free IG follower because you came out when white people might not do that. They might not have the inclination to hit you up on social media and start following you over there.
I gotta say that. Just knowing what jokes are good everywhere is real important. That way you know you're onto something.
Yeah, it shows you that where you got, hey, look, this is a joke that if anything happens, I could go into this room and it's mixed in there. They will all fuck with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I gotta say, man, when I've done rooms like that, even though I fare well more times than not, I never feel discouraged. No, I feel more encouraged to want to go back and be like, I want to find the jokes that you like. I want to find the jokes that you fuck with. Like, I'm gonna find them for you, and that's where
within your repertoire. That's
right, and that's where I find myself every time.
It feels very good to just turn a very shitty show. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and that's when when you're doing open mic, you're doing very terrible shows.
Yeah.
And a lot of times everybody's bombing, and if you could try when you're just starting to do an open mic, you realize when you could do the channel, when you could turn the energy in the room, is what you should try to do more often.
Mm-hmm. Listen, my favorite kind of room is the one where I go in and I can't really find the expectation in there. I can't even gauge the room right now at the moment, and I come in there and I just kill that room.
After not being able to read it for a while?
Yeah, unexpectedly. Okay. You know, that unexpected, wow, I didn't think I was going to fare well in here, but I did totally opposite. I did amazing. Like, that happened to me once in an all-Haitian room. I went in and it was just Haitian families, you know, older crowd. I was like, wow, what do I do? I said, I thought the logic of, we're all the same. So I lived in life with just my more mature, older adult jokes that they'll get, you know, life in public, struggles of those. And every single one hit for them.
Oh yeah, that's all fucking.
I don't think
that's
it's
the beauty of older
thing.
people. Like older people in general, just help them feel better about the life they live in.
Right.
they're the ones who want to, like, younger people. I would say the trade off with younger audiences is like they a lot of times want to feel like the superstar, like they want to be the stars too. So there's almost this weird like arms folded, make me laugh, or like a little too standoffish with the energy. Like
even
they'll tell them jokes and they just kind of like
they'll enjoy the joke but just won't laugh out loud.
Yeah, they're still repressed. They're still trying to. They don't want to be seen laughing
out loud.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing about the black rooms. I'll say is when they laugh, it's such a better laugh.
Yeah,
it's such a better laugh. Like my goal in life is to make a white man go like this. You know, like if I got a white man, ooh, oh shit. The way you lifted your head out that book, brother, like that was, you was not into anything that's going on.
Man, you said he was studying something, he was reading the manual.
Yeah, he's reading for Lincoln.
I had to finish studying and I was like, I gotta know what the fuck that shit does, man.
You learned how to turn on the vehicle?
Yeah, I just figured out how to turn on.
He's been calling OnStar all his time to start the car.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Okay, no,
that's probably Walter. But man,
I just don't want to smoke on camera. But
afterwards, hey, let me ask you, man. So, like, you said you're in a relationship now, right?
Very much so. Yeah.
Do you do any materials now about being?
Oh yeah, everybody is subject to my madness. Like, I don't tell them up front you might be a joke. It's just like, hey, why don't you come to a show sometime? And then I'll just say some shit that happened yesterday.
Yeah,
in front of them, they be like, okay, so this is how you get down.
And sometimes, like, my stand-up at parts of me doing it has gone from, like, the shit that I say to make my boys laugh to some of the shit I say to make my girl laugh just because she's the one that's around. So fucking, she laughs at some stupid shit.
Those jokes for the public, the ones that make your girl laugh. Because I have a belief that, like, when you make men laugh, you have fans forever. When you make women laugh, you have fame.
Really?
Yeah. That's
the
most famous people have a lot of female fans.
You want me to tell you something funny? You say that our show has more of a female followership than it does males, man. And for a while, I was like, wow. And they are more supportive. Women are more supportive in my mind.
You're famous, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, dudes will fuck with you on the low forever. They'll be like, oh yeah, I've been watching your shit, but I didn't share it.
Like I ain't going
I don't share that shit.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Women,
man. I don't like it that much.
Promote it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, man. That's a dope, actually, like, what is it, like, saying there? That's like a dope philosophy to have. That's what I was looking for, philosophy. That really is. Does your girl like the jokes? Does your girlfriend take well with the jokes?
She does. I mean, the only thing that happens is like she has to deal with the fact that like a subject matter that she didn't know was open to public is now open to public, and I do my best to be respectful because my thing is, all right, tell the truth about what happened. Like, make your joke truthful, but make sure that you're not being mean for the sake of being mean.
Right. I don't think. Well, here's the problem, man. We might find it humorous, but I think sometimes, like, it's like I've thought about that when I've done like certain jokes with my girlfriend. I'm like, will she get angry if I said this?
And that's the worst thing for a comedian to have to think about.
But I think in the being mean thing is you can still get laughs being mean or being angry, but if you just keep positivity flowing instead, it kind of builds to a better set.
Yeah, you gotta have it's gotta be tongue in cheek. They gotta know that you're joking. And you be an angry man up there.
No, well, see, if my lady got mad, I think my argument would have been just to say, hey, you know, you kind of got into this. You know what I mean?
It's the best when they met you after doing stand up. I feel bad for all my friends doing stand up that got their girl first.
That had a kid first.
Yeah, that's bad because that's hoop dreams. You tell me you got hoop dreams.
That's me, bro. That was
you?
When I first got into comedy, I was still married. I was actually worse. I was going through the divorce, so we were already on the back end of bad stuff. Mm-hmm. So when she found out I was getting into this, oh man, whenever the arguments came. Oh man, like the fact that I wanted to get into comedy or acting or anything, they were just always the punchlines. You know what I mean? It was like almost letting you know that you were 12 years old and you went in your room and you wanted to be the next big rapper. You know, that's how they make you feel. Yeah, it's really rough. And I think to this day, I think there's certain people out there that look at us that feel like, oh, you haven't made it yet? You're still doing. I hate when people try to like what's the word here? But they try to like mock what you do, and they're like, oh, you still doing the comedy thing? You still telling jokes?
I get that. Like,
You've gotten those?
My version of it a lot of times is first when people say you still doing stand up. That's like the worst thing. Because I hope people understand, like, this is what I do. You're not gonna ask Chris Rock in 10 years, you still doing stand up?
Do you know what I mean?
To see a special from Chris Rock at all. You still think he's doing stand up. I want that same energy for me. And the other thing though is like when it comes to annoyances and all that stuff as far as stand up goes, is anyone who thinks they need to give me a word of encouragement to keep doing it. Like, trust me, I'm in that group of people who this is it.
Yeah.
This is like, we know those people who, because they'll talk to you openly about how they don't know if this is what they want to do. The ones who this is what they want to do, you can tell. They'll tell you it. You get the vibe from them. The ones who's going to be here for a long time.
Yeah, I think I haven't had one of those. I think people understand that this is, at least from my perspective, this is here to stay. You know, the growth of what we doing here. This isn't for you to ask, are you still doing that? Like, they now look at me and they go, hey, man, how's it going? You know what I mean? It's more asked, like, how's the comedy going? It's not like, hey, are you still doing that? Because they know, like, you're knee deep in this shit, bro. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah, like, it was crazy because I think that really started dawning on me when people from high school have now started to reach out and been like, bro, you was funny back then, but this is crazy to see the shit you doing now. I just wanted to say, you know what I'm saying, I've been peeping you. I know I don't really, like, I literally had people reach out and be like, yo, I've seen you on social media. I know I don't say shit, but it's crazy that you're really out here growing. And I was like, holy shit. All right, so people were seeing
it. Feels good, huh?
Yeah, it feels great because a lot of times every day you think about what the fuck you're doing, whether it's anything in the creative fields, you have to think about what you're doing every single day, and you're the one with that emotional weight around your neck. So every day feels like it's one more day you haven't achieved your dream. But you don't realize how many people have actually seen you every day still trying to achieve your dream, and that's inspiring in and of itself.
Yeah, it is. Let me ask you, man, now we know about your parents, what do they think about you being stand-up?
They didn't understand what the fuck I was trying to do at first. They didn't get it. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do stand-up comedy. What is that? Like, what do you mean, what is that? Like, what is this? You a clown? You gonna sing songs? Because that's what they thought I meant, like I was gonna be a musical performer. They're like, I don't know, you telling jokes.
That's fucking
funny to me. You do what you want. That was my mom. Like, I was like, all right, cool, good talk.
Oh man, was your dad more supportive then?
My dad didn't give a fuck. He was like, make sure you pay your bills. I was like, that's Haitian, man. It's like, pay your bills. If you want to tell jokes, you want to fucking all, you make sure they pay bills. If they don't, then find something that does until they do.
Listen, man, your dad is like every man in this world.
That's all you got.
Yeah, that's about it, man. That's the most manly advice any man will give their son. Like, you know what I mean? Pay your bills, man.
Pay your fucking bills.
Dad, I'm about to be a notorious drug dealer. Just pay your bills, man.
Pay your fucking bills. Don't let them come for you. For bills. They're gonna come and get you. Make sure it's on something else. It ain't for these bills.
That is real, man. God bless your dad, man. What your parents overall, man. But that's some great fucking line from your dad.
Yeah. They're supportive more so now because, like, my siblings are now telling them, like, I think he's kind of a big deal. And I was like, I'm not, but I appreciate you telling.
Just keep telling them.
Yeah, keep telling them that.
And let them know that my bills are paid.
Yeah. My sister she saw me in something, and she was like, oh, yeah, no, he famous. And I was like, you should stop telling people that immediately.
Especially with, like, Caribbean folk.
New Times.
Yeah.
Some shit.
Oh,
everybody in that.
You was in Miami New Times?
One of those things, like Broward or some shit, because I had some show, and they, like, tagged me in it.
Oh, okay.
She found me. I'm Googleable at this point, and all that shit.
Got an IMDb page, girl. I'm big.
I do have an IMDb page.
Oh, all right. My bad, play.
It's not bad. It's one of those things that's like, it's on there, but it's for, like, some bullshit series I did.
Yeah, I don't even want to get one because I just done too many like scumbag hustle films. Where just like I was the star of a student film, I didn't give a fuck. But they paid me
I love that the student film IMDb. We won't pay you, but we'll give you an IMDb credit.
Or yeah, they couldn't find a gap, so I did a last minute for like 50 phones.
Oh man, have you done anything notable in terms of films?
I've been in the Fresco y Mas commercial.
Right. Well, we know you're beating drums, dancing in the Fresco y Mas.
Yeah. I've been on Ballers, and I did.
You were on Ballers.
I played a rookie who got drafted by the Jets in the season finale of season like 3.
Damn, sorry about that. That was you were playing.
Yeah, I was.
That's HBO.
That's HBO, baby. The only other thing I think recent of note is a Versace story on FX.
You're bullshitting. You were.
But I had no.
But I saw that.
Nothing valuable.
But I saw that.
Yeah. I was just one of the niggas going like this. Like, during the murder, like, oh shit, what's happening? They dragging the body out. Oh my god, like that was my job.
Did you know of the Versace murders? Were you around for
I
that?
had like them up until like a decade or so ago. My experience with the Versace murders was Eminem saying, "I'm Versace and I was checking the mail." That was my experience with Versace, the murders. And I was like, what does that mean? And I looked it up, and I guess he died. And that's all I knew.
But after doing the series, did you
I watched it. I watched some of the episodes back, and I was like, oh, okay. And I learned about, because it's a story about the other guy, the murderer. You know what I mean? It ain't really about Versace, yeah.
Yeah, the Versace, man, I was old enough to remember that, and obviously I lived out here and saw that shit. That shit was insane, man. I was like, wow, man, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that was before like news was news.
Yeah, I felt kind of big for Miami when I saw that we were on CNN and shit.
That's such a ghetto thing. Taking pride when your fucking city's in the news, no matter what it's for. Violent crime. I remember
Miami, bitch.
Knowing their city's ranking and their murder rate.
Yeah, bro. I remember getting hyped because of fucking Top 6 being on Gangland. I was like, Haitians out here, baby. Top 6, baby. We made it to Gangland.
Listen, we get excited if we're like top 10 anything. Like, you don't give a fuck.
Murders.
Just seeing places that I ride by on Gangland. Wait.
You ever seen First 48 and be like, I've been there.
Yo,
I've been
Josh,
to that
48 will
location.
fuck your head up, sing this thing down. Like, oh, they got him over there. I know they got him over there.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man, shout out to Tekashi 69 keeping the streets safe.
Yo, for real. Hey, Walter, if you want, Tekashi 69 can snitch and tell you what the real function is about that car.
I hope so.
That album's gonna do amazing.
Yeah,
It's gonna do amazing and it'll be alright.
The name of
Like lyrically it'll be okay. But
the name of the album
He
will
can
be
live
Tell
in-
All.
like Moscow and just make video game music.
Oh, man.
he did it.
Hey, what's your opinion with the comedy scene out here, man?
This scene is fucking growing in a way that's very I'm hopeful of it, but I'm a little bit pissed off that it took us so long to start to get really popping with, like, you know, you got comedians, and when I say down here, I guess you mean like in South Florida specifically.
Yeah, I mean, because I know you're up in West Palm.
Yeah,
but
but
you're
South Florida
everywhere,
down
like I
here,
was alluding to.
We're starting to finally get the people who are in control of what's cool in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale to finally give a fuck about something that's not a nightclub. The influencers are finally giving a fuck about something outside of nightclubs. And it took fucking 40 years to get them to not give a fuck about only, like, it took, you know, the art Basel coming down and then going like, okay, well, there's other shit that we can do. Heart of the City came down here and filmed some shit. We got motherfuckers from down here doing shit all over the country and making headways within the comedy world. So it's showing that, you know, for a city, the area is massively populated. I don't know if people understand that. Like,
yeah, we are up there.
Yeah, there's millions of, when you put all 3 counties of Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest areas in the country.
Massive. I consider it all one thing, honestly, because like it ain't that big of a deal to go from Boca to Miami for real.
It ain't.
No, as long as you're not doing it in traffic time.
Yeah, it's easy. That's 40-minute drive. How many cities are 40 minutes long?
Let's be honest.
Well, there's like, with legal and illegal people, about 6 million people in a 40-minute drive.
You know,
that's massive.
I've had a chance to do a little bit of Central Florida comedy, And those Central Florida comedians, for example, they go from Tampa to Orlando in a night. They're like, yeah, hey, I'm just going to go do a show in Tampa, and then I'm going to go do another one in Orlando, and then I'm going to Oviedo. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because they ain't shit out there.
Right.
Like,
and
they
don't
got
drive like
it's,
that.
it's very isolated out there.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. Like, in Orlando, there's city and then woods all around it. Tampa, it's like the city and then the beach on one side, woods on the other.
Right. So, but when they get together, man, is they making nothing. So being South Florida in general, you know, I could understand that at West Palm and Miami thing. But what do you think about the comedians here?
The comedians are very good. It's obvious that they're not, you know, the comedians, I'll say this, we have the unique advantage of being so diverse in our population around us that we learn how to talk to everybody faster than most people, and we get more stage time than almost everybody around the big cities. So we come into your city in New York or in LA having for real 15 minutes, 20 minute sets under our belts because they all doing 4 or 5 minute joints.
Yeah, that's all they do out there, huh?
That's all they do is like 5 minutes.
Was that the
10
experience
minutes,
for you?
5 minutes, 10 minutes. In like New York especially.
In New York, I'll be hyped to get 7 minutes.
Really? That's like a big deal out there.
Yeah, that's rare.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of times like you get booked for like a show that's only an hour long, so like it'll just be like they'll try to shotgun spots.
Yeah, they'll do like 30 comedians.
5 minute spots, 7 minute spots. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we have that unique advantage that I firmly believe if you travel within South Florida and you do your little bit of time in like Central Florida, Orlando, Tampa, you can become a really strong at least feature based on you getting the kind of reps that no one, like the people, there's a reason motherfuckers in New York have to do 5 sets a night because they're 3 minutes. You can't do 5 sets a night if they're 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
You'll be wiped out.
No, 2. And you can get 2 here.
You can get 2. Like, people will let you get on stage and rock for 15, 20 minutes for real at an open mic. It's crazy.
We were talking, me and Mateo, the other day, and I was trying to gas him up because I can't do it. On Tuesday nights, just here in Miami alone, you could run into 4 different comedian rooms, you know, comedy shows, and I was trying to gas him up to do all 4. Where'd you get? I think you've done 3 is the max, right?
I've done 3. I've done 3 shows a night a lot, but
yeah, but
I've done 4 before.
You've done 4 in a night out here?
I mean, I've done 5 in New York on some fucking.
No, but I mean out here, out here in Miami,
Okay.
how many have you been able to get out in a single night?
4.
4? That is amazing. I thought it was
On a
also
Thursday when there was a lot of shit going on in Miami, I could do it.
Yeah.
You can definitely get that.
And that's amazing, man. To see that every night out here now, and it back to what you were saying with the growth, man. It's crazy.
Huge. And no one is afraid. Not no one, but like the comedians are a lot less afraid to just open their own spot. Because it used to be. Remember, like that's the thing. When we started, comedians would fucking backbite and argue and be bitter that they not getting booked at this person's room and this person's not booking them. But now you have a time and a day and an age where comedians are like, I'm gonna open my own spot. You open your own spot, you open your own spot, and we just gonna rotate around this bitch all week long. And it's just good. It's just good for everybody to have a place that they can go to, and no one is afraid. And it teaches them a very necessary skill that I feel like a lot of comedians don't get in a lot of other cities, which is what it takes to open and run a show.
Yeah.
We learned that shit quick. Like we all learned
baptism
how to
by
host
fire
within like a year.
Yeah.
Down here, motherfuckers in other places don't get to host for like 3 years. You talk to.
I gotta admit, man, I think this is my first year getting serious with consistently hosting shows, and man, I've come to learn a lot. I think what helped me a lot was being here doing the podcast, but like being out there and having a host, man, it's a huge learning curve that first year.
That is because you learn all of a sudden like, oh, this isn't me. This isn't the same as me just getting on stage and rocking out.
Yeah.
Like, no, I have a job. I'm the only one with a real job right now.
I was seeing Mateo yesterday.
It's a different level of like crowd control.
Yeah, you were really different. You were in a different element yesterday. Like watching you.
Yeah,
just
that room sucked. So it was like fucking ranking the fucking bull between comedians at times.
Have you ever done tours in Coconut Grove?
No, because it's too far.
Yeah, you don't.
It's like it's too far for a Thursday going. Like I did. Like I'm able to rock with y'all tonight because it's Friday going to Saturday. But like if this podcast was happening on a Tuesday, I don't know.
It gets tighter.
It gets tight.
you work, you got to handle the responsibilities in the daytime.
I do. Like,
I mean, we all do. I got a business, like I said. I still maintain. So when I wake up in the daytime, I still got to be up early in the morning. I can't go every single night doing a show. I see comedians doing that all the time, just every single night finding themselves doing a room, and I'm like, it sounds amazing, but I just can't. You know, I get burned out.
I don't even have an issue with that. My thing is like, where am I like learning? There's obviously the integrity of, as a comedian, not being afraid to step on any stage, not being intimidated by any room. But there's something like, how many times do you need to slay a dragon before you stop going to that castle? You know, there's those rooms that are just dog shit every time, and yeah, you could do well, but why do you keep going there?
Yeah,
and it's dog shit every time, and yeah, you did well, but the effort it took,
it's got to
not
be
learning
50-50.
Yeah.
If,
I think
if
like
it sucks
Taurus
half
is like
the time, it's fine.
I think Taurus has that environment.
You can get that every once in a while. Because comedy is kind of just what energy you have. And if you've been doing well a long time, you kind of go into it with the swag of doing good, which makes you do better for some reason. It's just
a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing that's hard is to keep that consistency internally.
Yeah.
And stay consistent, you know, on stage, and want to have that same energy, man, every time.
Because you want to get really good at it, but there's so many other things that's necessary to being, like, to sustaining your comedy dreams. You gotta learn what it takes to actually make a fan. You gotta learn what it takes to fucking promote yourself and all that shit. Oh. And when you're doing 8 shows a day, well, you learning how to do anything else outside of just that. You gonna get, because there's a
man, you should write
comedians who get really
doing
good.
a bunch of shows and doing the same shit.
Hennessy, man, I've learned a great deal with you, man. I feel that everything I've heard tonight, man, it's just like I'm on page with you. Like it's so spot on what you've been saying here tonight, man. I even just anything, man, from even just like philosophies, man, it's spot on. Like I agree, man. I really do agree. What's next for you, though?
Right now, I got my show that I've been prepping for about 8-9 months. Been trying to do it for like a year, which
what
is
do you mean?
Miami Improv.
What?
Yeah, Miami Improv, November 17th. Got my show out there. What's happening is this is a cross-medium show. So we got a live band, and there's going to be, you know, just me trying to bring all my skills together, because I've been doing it in spots. Like I'll fucking do shows. Sometimes I've done it multiple times where I did a show, I'm performing, and there'll be some musician just hanging around. I'll be like, why don't you come on stage and join me? I was doing that shit like Chappelle would do with fucking John Mayer before I knew the name. Like I was doing that shit. I was like, why don't you come on in and we're gonna rock out. And I realized, I was like, all right, I had this belief in that I've held on since the beginning of doing this shit, which is, what do you want your show to be? Because ultimately this is fucking a one-man sport.
Yeah.
So when people come out, they need to come out to see, they're coming out to see you specifically. What experience are you about to give these people to make it worth everything that's telling them not to go, from their family to their responsibilities to the movies to whatever other shit's going on? You're under even more tremendous scrutiny or stress to do it, because as you try to get better at stand-up, other shit around you is getting better. Movies are better. Fucking the club is better.
Yeah.
Restaurants are better.
Yeah.
Dating is better. Everything is better. So you are now in this place where you're like, all right, I got to give these people something. And I was like, all right, what do I want to see at a show? If I was attending a show, what do I want to see? And I realized, like, no, my performances specifically, because I can only talk for me, they have to be not concert, but that concert, like that package big concert energy. An experience.
Like a Kanye show.
Like
I've heard those
like
Kanye shows are insane.
Like,
yeah.
Like that's what it takes to get these motherfuckers to leave their house nowadays. It just is what it is.
Especially to do an hour-long show, I'd probably rather do stand-up half that time and figure out what to do with the other half.
Yeah,
of
do
the
like
show
another creative
to package for people, so that it's a reason for them to leave their house. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think Freddie Stebbins does something like that too. I think he does like.
I did his show recently, the Flamingos.
Yeah,
I did that. It was a great fucking room. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man, shout out.
But it was It was a great riff, but that's what it takes though, because how many times have people seen a motherfucker holding a microphone in front of a brick wall?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of well, really that's everyone's expectation when they think they're gonna go walk into a comment. Oh, this guy's gonna stand behind a brick wall. He's gonna tell me his
jokes and
tell me what you think about. Yeah, I got you. So you're incorporating music into your comedy.
Yeah, this and to me it was like, all right, this time around I want to do that for this one. The next time around I want to do something else because I have to keep evolving. I have to keep making my show different, making my show special in its own way. And right now, that's my focus is this show. And then after that, my next goal is to create. I think every comedian wants to create more content, right? Because it's 2019.
That's what we're doing.
Realize we have to have it.
Yep.
But I think mine now is I don't want to just run and just do any old thing. So I want to really focus on the next steps of achieving like the life I want to live. And to me, the life I want to live means do what you want to do now. Like, just do it until you find a way for that it pays for itself.
I see what you're saying.
That means travel. I want to do fucking food videos. I've got videos of me talking to fucking restaurant owners and chefs and shit.
Oh, you got to do that, man. We're dying to have like food people come in here, man. That's one thing I'm trying to work on.
I got those videos. I want to do that stuff. I want to travel the world talking about that shit.
I think it could. I think through the media of comedy just coming in through here, it's gonna open so many doors. I was telling someone the other day, man.
People just want to watch it. So once it's rolling, if it's entertaining, they'll keep watching. They just gotta find it.
You know, we're having this conversation, right, about how just comedy is almost like this stepping stone to so many other things.
So many people come from comedy.
Yeah, and so much you could do.
You could use those other things to bring people to the comedy, but you
have
to.
Yeah,
you have to. Yeah, like Joe Rogan's audience, you know, a lot of them are comedy fans. A lot of them are from podcasts. A lot of them are from the UFC.
Yeah,
but it don't matter. They all paid the same price for that damn ticket.
Exactly. It's exactly right. Man, so this question I wanted to ask it at the beginning, but then again I said, let me say that again.
Okay.
Hennessy!
Yeah.
We've had this bottle here. I'm sure people have been looking at this like, hey, these guys have this shit and they don't touch it. Hennessy, man, your name, Hennessy, like, how do people, like, how many correlations do you get every time with that?
Also, there's another Hennessy Williams, an imposter of sorts.
In Orlando?
What?
Yeah, I know about him. Here's a funny story about that. I knew I was like, oh shit, I'm the real one though. And here's how I knew I was the real Hennessy. Was because, and no disrespect to this brother, fucking keep doing your thing, player. But I realized I was the real one because there was a show that like a comedian, Ken Miller, great guy I know.
Oh yeah, I know Ken Miller, yeah.
And Hennessy Williams was doing. And they were talking about Hennessy Williams' set, and the person was like, this guy told a joke, I didn't really like it. It was kind of whatever. The show was alright because he told some joke about like, and it was most again. Shout out to you, brother. Keep doing it. But it was like the joke was basically more people would run away if hurricanes had black names, and I knew about this because they tagged me because I'm the Hennessy that comes up when you look for it on social media. Like if you look up comedian Hennessy Williams. That's me.
Yeah, you pop up.
Yeah, you pop up. So the person tagged me, and I read the article, and I was like, "What the fuck? What? A joke about hurricanes? I would never write a joke like this." I was about to write a strongly worded fucking letter to fucking don't slander me like this.
First off, man, shit.
I don't believe it evacuated.
Oh man, I didn't even know there was another Hennessy Williams.
Dude, there's a doctor named Hennessy Williams. I'm pissed off about to tell this shit, man.
Yeah. No, that's a pill mill right there. That's like if you're looking for Adderall and you see that when you fucking
you go see a Hennessy.
I'll go ahead.
You just gotta say you got anxiety. She just gives you anything you want.
Hey, but the name Hennessy, man, is it really your name?
No. So what ended up happening is I came out when I first started doing stand-up. I was going by my real name, and people would they were like, couldn't remember it because it's Haitian as fuck.
Okay.
Like, oh shit, you did good. What's your name though? I can't remember your name. It's like, is it Atlas? What's your name? Well, that's not it. But what ended up happening is I was like, all right, I gotta come up with some because I want motherfuckers to remember me. And then I was just coming up with these different things and something about. I was talking to an ex at the time. We were still dating, and she was trying to remind me of a playwright, Hennessy Williams, who wrote Streetcar Desire, Hot Tin Roof, that shit. And she was like, what's that man's name? Like, Hennessy Williams, what's his name? I was like, that's not his name, but it's mine. And from then, I just started telling people, and it was hard in the beginning, because I had advertisements and shit with my regular name, and I'm telling people, now call me Hennessy. And they're like, nigga, what? You been doing stand-up for 3 weeks? You want us to call you something else? I'm like, yeah, just do it. And
it stuck with you.
It stuck. The hardest thing when you like go by a stage name is making people, like holding people accountable to saying the stage name, no matter what. Like, no, you don't get to just have half my name and half another name and get my shit wrong on a flyer. Like, I tell comics that all the time because I've had a comedian tell me, like, what do you do if they spell your name wrong on the flyer? I was like, motherfucker, you tell them to fix it. This is your brand. It sounds corny or whatever, but like, this is your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's why I have to share something with your name spelled wrong.
It hurts, man. It hurts. I think Mr. Goodnight does it with 2 T's, so every time we would see that missing T, boy, was he flipping, going backwards. Now, people, I'm John Everyman, but no one even remembers John anymore. People just walk around and go, hey, Everyman! I think one time I was talking to someone, I said, hey, what's up, man? It's John. And say, John who? I said, Everyman. Oh, hey, Everyman! I was like, fuck, so we didn't remember the John, huh?
Yeah, you don't get to
that's why
remember how people remember you. You don't get to pick how you remember.
Yeah. One-word names are good. People just don't even remember the rest.
Yeah, pretty soon I'm going to have to drop John, and that's actually the most real thing. Yeah, you're Henny now?
Yeah, so many people. Hey, what's up, Henny? Hen dog.
Are you a fan of Hennessy? Do you drink it?
I'll tell you what, the regular one, terrible. But
what?
No, it tastes fine if you mix. It's a great mix drink. Like, it's good for mixing on Coke, ginger ale, something like that. But like Hennessy VSOP, I fucks with.
Yeah,
I love VSOP.
Yeah, the same VSOP.
Hennessy Black is okay, but those are good. But this is good. I know you bought this and I just trashed it. But
no, that's fine. It was the most reasonable one within the budget.
No, trust me.
I've hit many licks on the, like, if I find the Hennessy White, I just buy a bunch of them and sell them on Facebook.
Do you know what? I've never tried Hennessy
on Facebook. I'm only fucking using that marketplace for real.
I've never tried Hennessy White.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I want to try Paradise, but that shit's like $1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yo.
I didn't even know they make them that.
You gotta go hang out with rich people to sneak in and get that.
Yo, there used to be the show called 3 Sheets where this dude, Zane Lambert, would just get tore up in every country in the world.
Jesus Christ.
On other people's dollars, I'll get
yeah, that's actually a dream show.
You gotta like
once a week. I can't do that. You can't have me film maybe 2 days, 3 days straight. I could take a chance, but I need a week off after that.
Hey, you imagine that show got canceled, but he's still convincing people it's still going on? Just to get drunk and shit.
I'm not even sure if that guy's alive. He could very well.
I think that Man versus Food guy, like when he was going around doing them eating challenges.
Oh yeah.
He literally slowed down because of his heart.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't keep eating these hot dogs. Like that.
Someone should have told you that back season 2.
Yeah. Man, you should just. You can tell if you're consuming a quarter of your body's weight.
Yeah.
in chili meat.
There's a problem. Hey, can we get Walter back in here?
I think he just.
Oh yeah, all right. Look, he knows, man. His internal clock is working. Hennessy, man. Where can people find you, man?
Oh my God, you guys can find me at on Instagram. I'm Hennessy Wills. On Twitter, I think I'm Hennessy Wills. Facebook, Hennessy Williams. But I'm on everything. You just look for me. I'm sure you're gonna tag me on all this stuff. But yeah, Hennessy Wills, and it's spelled just like this drink. HENNESSY Williams. If you want to get technical, the third. Why the third? Because I wanted to seem like regal.
Yeah, I was like, man, maybe there's 2 other people.
Coming from a line of Hennessy.
Honestly, yeah, it's not bad now that most people named. there was a time I remember I found somebody named. Oh no! People found that the person named Hennessy Williams, and what they started doing was they was bagging on me on social media.
Oh,
People
man.
was like, they started tagging and finding pages of other people named Hennessy Williams, and then somebody was like, you know what? I'm finna change my name to Hennessy Williams, and they went on Facebook and changed their name for like a day. Hennessy, it was like their name in quotes. You know how the people just do the fucking,
the air
not
quotes,
but the
quotation marks.
Parenthetically, they put
The
the
parentheses.
parentheses around it, and it said Hennessy Williams, like Derek Hennessy Williams. Some dumb shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've been thinking about changing my name to Sanders just so I could keep like a corny Clark Kent kind of job.
You wanna like go after another alcoholic
It's not
drink?
bad.
I mean,
Yeah, I
it's
just
vodka.
fucking so people don't have to hear me
Vodka
saying
Rodriguez.
words.
I'll
And on LinkedIn, like those things shouldn't link.
I'll say that you can't. I learned a long time ago. You can't be afraid to embrace who you are as a comedian. Like it took me a long time when people would ask me, "What do I do?" Because my answer was always the real job, and I was like, "No." When people ask you, "What do you do?" the answer is comedian.
You know what? I
Everything
stopped saying
else
that.
is-
I think hanging around these guys, I've learned to drop comedian now. I say entertainer. I think.
I mean, you
entertainer
do
gives
more
you
than just
broad.
that, but to me, I'm like,
I never said entertainer. Sometimes I fuck with people because I go to all arts rooms,
oh yeah.
and then when they ask me what I'm doing, I just say I'm gonna do performance art.
Yeah, he does.
Just like painting and shit.
Because that way it's just open ended. So I can just fuck
Yeah.
with people and go into jokes, but in between there, just do word jazz and
I
sorts.
gotcha. That makes sense. I only picked a comedy and comedian because that's what it
you gotta
was
do
before
it,
I
yeah.
got here.
Right. Hennessy, man, I want to thank you for being here, man.
I thank you guys for
Yeah,
getting
man.
me out here.
You know, I every time I feel like I sit here with guests, I get such a better appreciation of who they are and where they've come from and whatnot. And I feel like it's no different tonight, man. Being that I already knew you, I already had my perspective, but just to really appreciate it more now and just, picking your brain on your thoughts with comedy, man, it just really definitely gives me a higher respect for you than I already had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
That's-
That's what it's about, honestly. I mean, a podcast is a long-form conversation with the hopes of getting people to know each other a little bit better so that they make a better world around them.
Yeah, that is true, man. Dang, you sound so prophetic, man. This guy. Hey, guys, shout out to Wake and Bake Studios for allowing us to do another episode here. Yeah, man, they are people here. Guys, if you need your vaping needs, you need vaping apparel because you want to show people that you down with it. Or, hell, you want a franchise. You want to get into a business, you're like, damn, I need to change it. 2020 is around the corner. I want to start making money. I want to be my own boss. We can help you with that. Just check out wake-n-vape.com and they will lead you to all of your necessary needs. Shout out to Marlon and the boss wife herself. Mateo, thank you for being here. Walter, go fuck yourself. Man, this guy always disappears. Whatever, but I'm glad he's here right when we need him. Hennessy, you're the man. Hennessy, are we taking Hennessy shots?
Yes.
We are? Fuck yeah, we're doing that for the promo. People, like and subscribe on YouTube, okay? Everyman Show, Everyman Podcast Show. And you can check us out on the website, everymanpodcastshow.com, or on any social media platform available. And Walter's still working there while I rumble and try to stumble us all the way to the end. Are we ready, senor? Yeah, I like that, man. I like what's going on there. Is that like Haitian song? Oh, yeah. No. Oh, shit.
Well, that's
Yeah. Fuck yeah.